Good morning on the morning Bullring. We have a little hangover from Speed Weeks, basically. Getting things fired up in Studio 51 this morning. I am Bob Dillner. Alongside of me is Dylan Smith. And Mamba, that was a long Speed Weeks.
Oh, my goodness. I was excited to be a part of it. Thank you for bringing me down. Had a lot of fun. I'm tired. I got my Bojangles this morning, though. I'm ready to go.
I know why you're tired.
Why?
You're tired because it was 17 takes per stand-up.
Listen, hey, the first day it took like 25. And then the next day I was like, all right,
down to
I'm gonna get
21.
Down to 12. The other one too. Got it to about 12, and we're somewhere around 10 per take.
So you're in like Casey LaJoy territory there at the beginning, and then you got better than him.
Yeah.
And we could pick on Casey LaJoy because his butt is not here this morning on the Morning Bullring.
He's not here with us. So you got your man Mamba here. So Beaver, we love you. We miss you, but I'm here today.
Do you really miss him?
Yeah, a little bit. He's
sure?
Yeah, he's got a lovable face. You know,
he's got the beard and stuff.
The beard and he's got that
glasses.
He's got that Randy LaJoy swagger to him a little bit.
He's kind of got that redneck nerd look.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
He pulls off great.
Yeah.
He pulls off great. A little round, he's fluffy,
Well, his face is probably looking better than Corey LaJoy, his brother's face, because his face was kind of demolished yesterday in the Daytona 500.
He got ripped off. Corey got it right front down and ripped that thing right off.
Ooh, that was not good.
There's a lot of racing going on this week.
Yeah, there was. Of course, the big track, Daytona 500 yesterday, up north of New Smyrna Speedway. And we're not going to talk about the Daytona 500 too much, but we will brag on a couple of guys. Very happy to see Ryan Preece run as well as he did. Of course, Ryan, the former NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour champion and winner 2 times at Speed Weeks at New Smyrna Speedway. And then he goes over to the big track. And I thought he was going to be able to pull it off. I was like, come on, baby, come on.
It was him and McDowell, so I feel like it was everyone was for McDowell and Ryan, and Ryan just couldn't quite keep up with the 22 to help get a run there at the end, but it was exciting to watch him run so well.
I think there were some people from, Fenway Park there because I saw a little video. Let's go,
Did you hear that? Yeah, I heard that too. I was like, oh my God. You got all these people from up north coming down, supporting him. Man, it was cool.
Yeah, he wound up with a good finish, but obviously things kind of got crazy there at the end and so forth.
And beginning.
Yeah, well, definitely the end. I felt like I was watching the truck series race all over again.
It was exciting.
How many trucks finished that race?
Did any finish the race? I don't really remember.
Oh my gosh! I tweeted at one point, "How many trucks will finish this race?" Todd Bodine retweeted and so forth. Nobody thought anybody was going to finish. I think it was like 7 strong trucks, and there was 9 on the racetrack because you had 2 people just kind of turtling around there.
Yeah, it was like the Clash. There wasn't really anything left. There was a lot of sheet metal and parts laying all over the racetrack.
How did you have time to watch Clash?
I
didn't have any time.
I didn't. I watched the very end.
Okay.
I watched this much of it, and then the highlights. So that's all I got to watch the Clash.
A lot to talk about for Speed Weeks for sure. Volusia, New Smyrna, Bubba.
Yep.
There was a lot going on. East Bay, Golden Isles Speedway. It all began, I think it was January 30th or 31st, and went right through this past Saturday. Went by Valentine's Day, and there's no love in racing anyway.
No.
So it's like, who cares, right?
Yeah, no, we don't love each other.
Oh, love you too, Mamba. All right, let's go to the hotline right now and bring in the editor of Speed51.com, Brandon Paul. Since we're just kind of talking here, just save us and bring us back to reality, Brandon.
I'll try. I just want to start off by saying I did miss being down there with the crew. I thought everybody did an awesome job, Dylan included. Enjoyed watching him this weekend on fanschoice.tv. So good job to everybody down there. But the big story, I think, looking at Florida Speed Weeks is the performance of Brandon Sheppard. He made history, 4 wins in a row at the Dirt Car Nationals, and he was competing against a stout field. You had big names, Scott Bloomquist, Jonathan Davenport, all of those guys there, and Brandon Sheppard was able to win 4 races in a row. He led 174 out of 200 laps. That was just impressive seeing what B-Shep and that Rocket Chassis team did.
B-Shep, he's the man. I'm telling you. He had more than 20 dirt late model wins 1 year ago, and very impressive for that Rocket House team. Basically, Mark Richards, who is a co-owner of Rocket Chassis, that's who Brandon runs for. And, listen, he started off a little bit slower than he wanted to, but by the time he got to Volusia, the dude was just unstoppable. Mike Marlar in the 6 machine with Kevin Rumley also won a race, but that was it basically. I mean, Bishop stomped him after that, and I'm telling you, we got to get you into some dirt late model stuff there.
I would love to get into some dirt late model stuff. Those things look like so much fun. I've talked to my buddy Chris Ferguson about it. They look like a blast, and I don't know a whole lot about it, but I know that if you win 4 races in 1 week, you're doing something right.
And he just took off his headset. Otherwise, I was going to bring him on to pick on him a little bit, Brandon, because Mark Keeler, we're talking about dirt late models right at the top of the show, baby.
Uncle Mark.
Yeah, my new name is Uncle Mark, courtesy of Dylan all weekend. But I saw absolute zero dirt late model racing all of Speed Week, so I'm actually catching up to date with Brandon's little report here.
There you go. Bishop stomped him. That's all we have to say.
That's all there is to know, I guess.
Absolutely. How are you doing? You feeling a little tired, a little worn down?
Just got back to town at 6:18 this morning.
Oh, whose fault was that?
Oh, not mine. It was fog all the way through Georgia. It was a long ride home, but we say 9 nights, but it was just 9 nights of racing. But of course, we're there.
Yeah.
Our whole crew was there early. Everybody stayed late. It was a lot of fun. I think this was racing wise across the board. This was probably one of the better speed weeks on the asphalt side. Of course, the modifieds had a ton to do with that, with their car counts. And I wasn't a huge fan of the 100-lapper to finish the week, but those 35-lap races, I mean, right from Monday on, the racing was unbelievable. So I'm a fan of those 35-lap tour-type, modified-type races. They're pretty sick to watch. They're pretty cool.
I don't like the last night, honestly, being a 100-lapper for the super late models as well. Modifieds are gone. Pro late models are gone by that point, and it's like supers, 100 laps, and the rest. And everybody has a right to compete and that sort of thing. And the rest of the races were fine. I don't like the big super late model race being on the last night. But, Brendan, I'm sure you want to talk a little pavement, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I almost forgot.
See,
Okay.
I'm slowly converting you, buddy. Slowly.
Yeah, no, I mean, the funny thing is you talk about dirt late models, and I tell people all the time up here when I'm just talking about them, if there was one thing up here in Maine or up here in even the Northeast, anywhere north of New York that I could add, it would be dirt late model racing. I think it's just an exciting brand. But anyways, back to the pavement. You were talking about Saturday at New Smyrna, and there you saw redemption in the form of Derek Griffith. And really that was a storyline all weekend, not just with the super late models, but you saw a variety of drivers bouncing back or getting redemption. So I thought that was really cool to follow throughout the week. Obviously, just mentioned Derek Griffith, the first race of the week. He tangled there with Carson Kvapil, came back and won the final night. And then you also had Jamie Skinner in the Pro Late models, went to victory lane, but got tossed out of victory lane for a restart violation. But then a few nights later, he got to victory lane. And then also in the Florida Modified, you had Travis Eddy. He was disqualified on the first night of racing, came back and won the Florida Modified Championship via a tiebreaker. So a lot of cool stories there that really have to surround the word redemption.
That Florida Modified deal was so crazy Saturday night because Jerry Simons had it wrapped up. It was his, and he had a team car, Dwayne Dempsey, out there. Had Dempsey pulled in, he wasn't really competitive. Had he pulled in, then it would have secured the championship for Simons because it would have given him the one spot that he needed. And I don't know if nobody relayed that to him or told him, but all he had to do was pull over, and his teammate, because Jerry Simons ended up, I guess it was a flat tire. I was actually fixing a camera at that point. But yeah, had his teammate, it's actually Jerry's backup car, had he pulled off the track at any point, then Jerry Simons would have had that one extra spot he needed because he was 2 laps down and would have had the championship. So that was really a weird deal going on. Adam Mackey and Casey LaJoy, they were scrambling their brains up in the tower the whole last few laps of that race. But good on Travis Eddy, though, to bounce back and get that championship, like you said, Brandon.
My favorite was the fact that I saw the polar bear, Mike Eddy, in victory lane there. That was pretty cool. He is just a legend in the super late model ranks for sure, up there in the upper part of the Midwest, all over the country for so many years, honestly. Mike Eddy, just the man, honestly. And Dylan, Mark talks about the Florida Modifieds being interesting, but I remember earlier in the week, they just flat out sucked.
Yep. But they didn't tear up the whole. Normally, night one of World Series, they're going into turn one, and we're coming out with like a third of the field. They did good this year. They did much better.
An hour for 3 laps.
Yeah, that did kind of suck. He's muted.
He's a rookie. First
Rookie.
rookie dollar in the jar.
Oh man, hang on one second.
Yeah, that's okay. You can keep on talking. Oh, there we go.
I actually had $1 in my pocket. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Oh yeah, so the Florida Modifieds, I've never really seen them a whole lot, and then watching them this week, I kind of got more and more into them. And when you watch a group of guys race all week, and you're talking to them and hearing their stories and stuff, like Wayne Parker. I talked to Wayne all week. He was one of the coolest cats that I've talked to the whole time I was down there.
They're all good. I mean, Travis is kind of like, the young guy, so to speak. He's got the flat bill hat kind of backwards,
Yeah.
But
coming all the way from Michigan.
Yeah, Jerry Simons has been down there forever, and he's a super nice guy. Wayne Parker, good guy as well. They get their feathers ruffled a little bit from time to time, but I like that style of race car. I really do because, I grew up a tour-type modified guy. Right. You got the big wide tires, by the grace of God, and 600 horsepower. But about the same horsepower, just a little bit less on the Florida modified side. But you get those, 8-inch tires. And I think that makes a big difference in terms of competition and so forth, because you can't use all that horsepower.
Yeah, up at Thunder Road where I'm from, we have those ACT cars. And that's a lot. It's a lot of the same basis, the skinny tires. It's very stock stuff. Like, you can't do a whole lot of adjustments. So watching those cars go around New Smyrna with the Florida mods, it was pretty cool. They were getting after it.
BP, what else you got for us?
Well, looking forward, the big thing this week, especially for some people up in my neck of the woods, the TAS National Opener at Dillon Motor Speedway, the 200-lap winter meltdown. I think that's going to be really exciting because it's the first chance on the East Coast for race fans to see this often talked about 5-star Gen 6 body. I think that's really going to draw some interest to this race as people will be paying attention to see, is there an advantage? Will the drivers that have this body on have any sort of advantage and stuff like that? So a big race. Some guys from up here are heading down there. Ben Rowe, who will be joining the show later on this morning, Travis Benjamin, the former TAS North champion, and then, of course, you have a good contingent from the South as well with guys like Matt Craig and Cody Connor and guys like that. So that should be a good race. I'm looking forward to watching that.
I don't think there's going to be any sort of an advantage, honestly, for the new 5-star body on a track like Dillon. To me, if there is an advantage, and that's not completely proven yet because the tests have been done, but at the same time, not everybody has been in the same room at the same time. So you can argue either side, and both sides will. But at the same time, I really don't think, Dillon is a fast track, but it's a little beat 'em up track as well. That, like a Hickory and so forth. I don't think you're going to see a huge advantage for anybody, honestly, no matter whether you have better downforce numbers in the wind tunnel or not. These cars, honestly, shouldn't be put in the wind tunnel from a pavement super late model side. There you go.
There you go. There you have it. I mean, it was short track racing.
Yeah, exactly. But I am looking forward to, because Ron Barfield, his staff, they have a beautiful facility right there in a very honestly, a difficult area of South Carolina. That area has been hit hard by the economic impact over the course of the last decade or so. So it's neat to see Ron Barfield in that area and that facility just thrive at that racetrack, and he's doing things there the right way. He's not just throwing a ton of money into it, even though he's thrown a ton of money into it. It's not silly. He does everything with the correct approach. So I hope that Ron Barfield, Tom Mabry, have a great race there at Dillon, South Carolina. Race that I'm going to be paying a close attention to as well, the Appalachian Indoor Showdown. That's going to be a lot of fun up in Wytheville, Virginia. Brand new facility. First time they're going to see oval track racing there. Outlaw karts, a big karting event as well, with so many classes. I couldn't even tell you how many classes are in actual karts, let alone outlaw karts.
I mean, everyone loves new racetrack. Like, we all love new racetrack. We keep seeing them go away. So when someone does something so special to bring new innovation to us, it's awesome.
New
Short track racing.
innovation.
New
I like that.
innovation.
Keeler, you ready to breathe in some of those fumes up in Wytheville, Virginia this weekend?
Yeah, I'm gonna. It's probably gonna be. I'm hoping it's not flashbacks of Indy, but no, it's gonna be pretty cool. Outlaw carts. We get to see them so much at Millbridge all the time. So to see them, I've never been able to go over to the fairgrounds and see them there. I've only ever really seen them at Millbridge. So to see them in a different venue, I think it's gonna be really cool. And then the indoors and a whole nother element. I came into this knowing nothing about outlaw kart racing. I'd never even heard of them. And even the first couple times out at Millbridge, I was like, man, what is this all about? Because they're just go-karts, and they ain't go-karts.
No.
That's for sure. But and the quality of racing, I had equated it to like quarter midget racing, which it's like a line of carts, and then somebody jumps out of line and passes and all that. But, to see those carts on the dirt, I think is awesome. They always put on a race. Sometimes the younger the kids are, the better the racing is because they just don't know better. So they'll make moves that other people won't. So I'm really excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Hey, BP, since you didn't go down to New Smyrna Speedway for the first time in 8 years, was it?
I don't think it was quite 8 years, but it was like 5 or 6, I think.
Okay, what's the biggest thing that you missed from not going to New Smyrna Speedway for the World Series of Asphalt Stock Car Racing?
Outside of the racing and the tour mods, it would probably be whipping up on everybody with Mark on foosball at the beach house.
Hey, I got to tell you, me and Casey made a pretty mean team this year.
Oh, you're done. You're history, dude.
I thought you were going to say the garlic, Brandon.
Yeah.
I'm kind of shocked.
I got
here.
there.
Well, that too. Were you guys? Was anybody able to go? Did you guys go?
Boss man went.
I got there. Now listen.
He did.
I had a rough day. I did invite you
He
too.
did invite me.
I had a rough day. The
He was
Sunday.
the only one that got the invite.
Yeah. Well, no. Kendra did as well, and she was supposed to invite y'all, but y'all had Subway. So you chose
We
to
had
eat
literally
the Subway
just
over the garlic. I would have puked it up to go to the dark.
I don't think I chose anything. I wasn't personally told anything. So, but I see how you are.
Yeah, well, here's my dilemma, honestly, with that day. This was not yesterday. It was the Sunday prior. I had rained out with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series at Ocala at Bubba Raceway Park, drove all the way over to New Smyrna, and basically got rained out there, too. So the first time in my history, I have never been rained out twice at at 2 different tracks in a single day. That's nuts.
It's got to be. I don't know if anyone's tried to go to 3 tracks in a single day and got rained out, but you got to be tied for at least a record.
So to help me with my misery, Tim and Pat Bryant, promoters from Five Flags Speedway, we went over to the Garlic. That's right. You're wearing the Snowball Derby shirt right there. And we went over there, had a nice little meal, met up with some other racing folk who was trying to get out of the rain and just enjoy themselves. So if you ever get down to New Smyrna Speedway, Brandon didn't get it this year, but you got to find your way over to New Smyrna Beach and go to the Garlic. It's the best Italian restaurant in the country, bar none. I'm telling you. Brandon, eat your heart out, buddy.
Mic drop.
You need to get some money for that plug. Go ahead, Brandon.
Mark cut you off.
Yeah.
Go figure.
I was just saying you need to get some money for that plug right there that you just gave him.
Oh, yeah.
Free meal.
Yeah, no, it's good stuff. But, hey, you mentioned Tim and Pat Bryant. One thing I forgot to cover, major mistake on my part, the big news this weekend, which we'll have more details later today on speed51.com. The 2019 Southern Super Series finale will be held at New Smyrna Speedway this year. The heart-to-heart race will be the Southern Super Series finale. So some news coming out this weekend, and we'll have more later today on Speed 51.
Yeah, that news kind of snuck out there. It's been talked about for a long time, going to New Smyrna Speedway with the Southern Super Series. And then all of a sudden it came out in the drivers' meeting on Saturday, and Tim Bryant started to get calls saying, hey, you're going to New Smyrna. And he's like, oh, I didn't know we were announcing it. It was just one of those things. Everybody was excited to make the announcement, and they made the announcement, just not expecting to have that announcement.
As long as they're going racing, right?
Yes.
It doesn't really matter. You'd like to drum it up and make it big, but as long as we're going racing, it's all good.
Absolutely. BP, how much snow you got in the ground up there?
It's actually snowing as we speak. There's probably, I don't know, there's going to be over a foot on the ground, but we have flurries as we speak right now.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're going to cut you off because we have the big gun coming up. Bubba Pollard, the dominator in super late model racing, up next on the Morning Bullring.
The secret is, it's quicker.
Chris Ferguson will take the chips home. He'll win it.
PFC Brakes. More championships than any other. From late models to modifieds on pavement and dirt. With at-track service like no other. Success means no compromises.
A fifth win of the year for Ty Majeski. He'll take it.
Lighter, stiffer, cooler, quicker. PFC Brakes. The secret is, it's quicker.
Racecar Engineering is your single source supplier for all your racing equipment. Dirt, asphalt, drag strip, street rod, or off-road. Their experts can keep you on the track and in the lead no matter what type of racing you do. Hundreds of brands, thousands of parts. Find them online at racecareng.com or call them toll free at 800-882-7231 and make sure to ask for your free catalog. That's Racecar Engineering, 800-882-7231.
Race fans, it's time to kick off the 2019 race season as the past Super Late models roar into Dillon Motor Speedway on Saturday afternoon, February 23rd for the 14th annual Winter Meltdown 200. Catch past champions Ben Rowe, Derek Griffith, and Matt Craig, along with North America's top short track stars. Compete for 200 green flag laps, plus the action for the challengers and mini stocks. It's the past National Championship Series in the Winter Meltdown 200, heading to Dillon Motor Speedway on Saturday afternoon, February 23rd at 2 p.m. For more information, go to ProAllStarSeries.com.
Back here on the Morning Bullring, rise and shine, everybody. It's time to talk some short track racing. I'm Bob Dillner. In for Casey LaJoy is Dylan Smith, and nice to have you here this morning.
Yeah, we're here. We're here. Got my Bojangles this morning. Cajun filet biscuit combo. I didn't.
I'm a Chick-fil-A guy.
I didn't do seasoned fries. I did bow rounds and a large sweet.
Did you get like that heart-shaped thingamajiggy that they have?
No, that's the bowberry biscuit.
The bowberry biscuit.
Listen, don't call it a thingamajig. It's a bowberry biscuit that they make into a heart. My heart is at Bojangles all the time.
Dude, I just like Chick-fil-A that much better.
I don't know how. They don't even got bone-in chicken there. How is that even a chicken place?
Listen, I love the chicken biscuit. I'm a big fan of the chicken biscuit.
Yeah, but the one at Bojangles is Cajun.
Well, you can get a spicy chicken biscuit.
It's not. It's all breaded. It's not even fried.
What we're gonna do is someday, maybe during Speed Weeks down here in May, we'll have like a Chick-fil-A, Bojangles, bite off here,
Yeah.
and we'll have a taste contest.
Yeah,
blindfold everybody,
Yeah.
and have them choose their favorite one.
I'm gonna tell you what they're gonna choose. Everyone thinks that they love Chick-fil-A until they actually get some good Bojangles.
What do you think Bubba Pollard likes?
Oh, he's a Bojangles guy.
You think so?
I know my man.
Let's find out. All right, Bubba Pollard on the PFC Performance Hotline right now. Bubba, Chick-fil-A or Bojangles? That's the big question right now.
No, I'm going to have to go Bojangles.
I told you, that's my dog. I love this guy.
Dude, you're killing me. You're a Georgia boy. Chick-fil-A was born in Georgia.
I'd rather have a Chick-fil-A for lunch or dinner or supper or something.
Okay. Well, there you go. He's a 50-50 guy. So he's half Bob, half Mama.
What's the most important meal of the day? Breakfast.
That's right.
Oh, my gosh. Now, tell Bubba his new nickname that they're trying to call. And listen, I love Bubba.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the nickname's good yet.
Yeah. Hey, Bubba, so this week, I was talking to people and everything going on, and the word legend started flying around the pit a little bit. What do you think about being called the legend of Super Late Model Racing?
I don't know about all that. We got a long way to go before that's even in the talk. So now this weekend we got to drive for a legend, I feel like.
True.
So it was an awesome opportunity, and he's definitely a legend in short track racing. I'm not.
Yeah, well, you're working up to it. I will say that, and that's what I said. I said, "Listen, Bubba's too young." Mama was asking me that, Bubba, and I said, "You know what? He's still got a long way to go until he gets to that legend status." But David Rogers, obviously, driver of that TM Ranch number 11 for so many years, so many track championships at New Smyrna Speedway. Wins all over, especially in that sunshine state of Florida. He is a legend. Numerous championships during the World Series of Asphalt Stock Car Racing. So, Bubba, what was it really like for you as a fan of this style of racing for so long to actually climb in David Rogers' mount? And we want to say a speedy recovery to David Rogers. Obviously, he's definitely not feeling well right now, and that's why he wasn't there. But what was it like to get in that ride, Bubba?
Well, it was special to me. I've said it several times during the week, but to sit in the stands as a young race fan, and get to watch David Rogers, and now getting to drive his race car. I mean, it's nothing that's any better. I hate the circumstances, but it was under, but just an honor to be able to get to drive their race car. They could have picked anyone in the country to drive the TM Ranch, and over the last several years, we've gotten to build a relationship with those guys, with Steve and TM Ranch. And also David, since they have Seneca race cars, and Seneca has helped them, and they've leaned on me a little bit to help them at the racetrack, and we just built a relationship there. They've done some things for me on the pro car, and I've actually gotten to driven their pro car back several years ago. I'm gonna say 4 or 5 years ago at New Smyrna for the governor's, or no, maybe the Red Eye. So we got the opportunity to do that with them, and just built a relationship. Man, they're a good group of guys, great group. David's won races, and he's won championships and things like that. But the person he is, and the team that they've become is just unbelievable. And to be a part of that is special to us. And it's something we'll never forget. And hopefully David can get well and get back in the race car soon. I think we got it. We changed a few things, and we worked hard on it all week. And those guys are hard working. I mean, you see race teams that stay together and they've raced over the years, but man, this team has stayed together for 30 years. They've had a sponsor for 30 years, and that's awesome in short track racing. That gives me chills, and you don't see that anymore. And hopefully one day I can have that same relationship with my guys and stay together like that. And that's what's caused them to be so successful over the years. And just grateful for the opportunity, and hopefully we can do it again.
Bubba, we're looking at a graphic here. It was just up there of you in Victory Lane with your little girl. I know you're still she's like 2.5, right?
Yes.
Man, what's it like going, being a dad and being able to share these moments in Victory Lane with your family?
It is special. We now that she's gotten older, she's realizing, and just getting her involved. She wants to win, and that's what it takes in life, racing, or whatever you do, is to be a winner. And I see that now in her, and it's crazy. You wouldn't be able to see that in a 2.5-year-old little girl, but she wants to win. Like, Daddy, we're gonna get our picture made tonight. That makes you feel good. That makes you want to win. Makes you want to try hard. Man, we took her to Disney World on Friday, so we had no days off, and she was so happy, enjoyed it, and it was great. It was an awesome experience to be able to race and win and share those experiences with her, and look back on it one day. Those she'll grow older and won't anything to do with racing anymore, and we'll be able to look back at those and remember them. And it is special to have her family, and we're gonna have our second little girl, and hopefully she likes it just as much.
Oh, we know it's a girl now?
It's a girl.
Is that news? Wow, like breaking
news here
this morning
on the Bullring.
That's right. Man, so a daddy
I'm
of two little girls.
I'm outnumbered.
That is awesome, honestly. I love it. I love it. 2 little girls for big old Bubba. I love it. Hey, I know sometimes having a kid, according to some drivers, can be a humbling experience as well. Because, Matt Hirschman was telling me, I was talking to him while he was about to qualify one day, and his little one is a big Andy Jankowiak fan. Comes to the racetrack. Andy's got this bright colored car, and says, I'm rooting for Andy J. And he's like, yo, what about me? Does she ever do that to you?
Not yet, but I'm
good.
sure it's coming. It's only a matter of time. So, But yeah, she the other night we won in Victory Lane, and she several times before I've put her inside the race car and I've driven her. I let her rode with me to Tech. Well, the other night after the 100 lapper, I forgot about it because usually we didn't win. And man, she started crying and she was so mad at me when I got back to Tech. So I can't forget her no more. So we won't forget that one.
Yeah, you're going to go to bed without dessert tonight, I'm sure. She's
Yeah.
probably going to punish you a little bit. But those 3 wins down there, obviously, that was very cool to see you in Victory Lane in that, we call it the steed that David Rogers built, basically. But I want to go back to night number 1, honestly. Things were a little bit off. What did you have to do when you get into somebody else's ride? What did you have to do to make it more your style?
Well, I mean, we didn't have to change too much, but it was some bigger things. PFC brakes, done a great job. Chris Dilbeck come over, stuck the gauges on there. We redid brake pads, rotors, everything to get the car to my likings. And then that's important to have someone like Chris at PFC there that at track support is huge, and can't thank him enough for just the difference in the way my driving style and versus David's is a little different. So we had to get those things worked in to where during the race, I just couldn't apply any pressure to anyone. Once during practice, we could stay out there by ourselves and I could adjust my braking points because I was out there alone, and when it come race time, I wasn't able to do that. Just small things like braking, the throttle, things like that, being comfortable in the race car that makes a difference when you're in a pressure situation, like when it comes race time. During practice, it was fine. It didn't really bother me. So we changed those things, and that was the biggest thing we changed throughout the week. Just getting comfortable in the race car, being with a new team, never sat in it, and things like that. So I was able to adapt to it in practice and it not affect me. But when it come race time, it really, really, really bothered me. And we fixed those things, and it was good for the rest of the week.
Bubba, the narrative for the Supers pretty much all week was, the old wily vets against the young guns. What do you think about all of these kids that you were racing with this week? There's a lot of young guys trying to get their feet wet, trying to get experience. How do you view the future of short track racing right now as going into 19?
Well, to be honest, I'll just be honest with you. I was a little disappointed in some of the guys as far as being aggressive and having respect for each other. Don't get me wrong, it's 35 laps. You got to get the job done. But even when it come down to the 100 lapper on Saturday, I was a little disappointed. But the kids have talent. The kids, there's a lot of kids out there that have talent that show a lot of potential to go fast. And just the biggest advice I could give them, I've talked to some of them this week, is just settle down. Stay calm, don't get all worked up. You got fast race cars. Just settle in and get some experience here, and you can win some races. It's just get excited. They have to perform so quickly nowadays, so they have to be aggressive. And that was the biggest thing. But there is a lot of talent out there for sure. Just settle down and stay calm and just have a clean race.
Hey, Bubba, before we let Speed Weeks go, because, it's like weird. You get the Snowball Derby, and then you got a little time for, Christmas and so forth and the New Year's, and then all of a sudden racing is building up towards Speed Weeks, and you get that done. And Bubba, I've said we feel like we're all hungover this morning because it's like, you work so hard for so many nights. It's like a mini season down there, no matter whether you're on pavement or dirt. But before we let Speed Weeks go, what was your favorite place to eat down there that you got the opportunity to while you were down there for so many nights and days?
Well, we didn't get to eat and go out many places, because they had the Supers running last on every night. And I talked to them. I think they need to switch it up a little bit, go back to the way it used to be.
I think that was a mistake, by the way.
Yeah, and run it, Supers early one night so we can get out there and enjoy it. So we didn't get out there until 12, 1 o'clock every night. But we got to go to Merck's one night, and then we got to go to Ants. Is it Ants? Ants Catfish or something? That was really good. We enjoyed that down in New Smyrna. I like to eat, so all of it's good to me.
No kidding.
There's Auntie Catfish, I believe, and there's Uncle Chickens.
That's it.
And Mark likes Uncle Chickens.
Uncle Chicken. Everybody complained today we were going to Uncle Chicken's, and then they all loved what they had. So
I did not complain one bit.
Yeah.
And I told them, I said, you guys need to change it to Uncle Clucky's. And they looked at me like, that's a way better name. I'm like, I know.
Mark, do you have a question for your boy Bubba here? You've been quiet. He actually, I think he ran outside and went for a smoke, Bubba, while you were talking.
Wow. That can be taken so many different ways. But
Am I long-winded or what?
no. I do have a question because little birdie told me that you filed an entry for another big race that's coming up here at the end of next month, maybe in Alabama. Is that true?
Yeah, we decided while we were gone over the weekend, if everything, the details work out, we will be at the Alabama 200 in Montgomery. Hadn't raced, hadn't been able to run that race in quite a few years, and we're thinking about going back. We got a full plate the next couple of weeks with the Alabama 200, the Cars race in North Carolina at Kinley, and then the Rattler. So we got a full plate ahead and just get everything ready. We've had a couple of weeks here to prepare, and we'll see what we got. We'll be ready to go.
Hey, by the way, what do you think about the big announcement that was more or less accidentally mentioned at the drivers' meeting on Saturday at New Smyrna Speedway about the Southern Super Series finishing its season at New Smyrna Speedway on October 19th? That'll be a Saturday.
I think it's awesome. You know, I've always wanted the Southern Super Series to go to New Smyrna. I thought it was a good idea. They have cars. We can pull some cars from that follow the tour for the series, and then you can pull some guys from South Florida there that merge together that don't often get to race together. I think it'll be cool. It'll be exciting. This I think 2 weeks before the Governor's Cup, so you get a little, that would draw some attention toward the Governor's Cup to get some of those guys to come back to race. I think it'll be awesome. I think it'll be a great event.
Well, Bubba Pollard, you are our first two-time caller on the Morning Bullring. Why not have the legend, right? On the Morning Bullring.
The legend. Before we let you off, I gotta send it back up to where I'm from, Vermont. Bubba, you're going to the Milk Bowl. You know you kiss the cow when you win that race. You know that, right?
I'm ready. I'm ready.
Would you give it like a smooch? I mean, would there be,
No, I'd probably tongue it.
He's got 5 seconds pressure. He's gonna do it right for those people up there, man. I'm super
you gotta
excited.
make them proud.
Yeah, you gotta. The
sound
people
bite.
love it. They love it. I'm excited to see you up there, man.
Yeah, we're excited. I've talked to those guys a couple of times, and we're gonna work something out. And if all the details work out, we're gonna be there, and I'm excited about that. That's one of the bucket list races. Got to do the World Series of Asphalt and win championship, and I was looking at that. There's some awesome names on that list that's won that deal, and to put ours beside it with TM Ranch is pretty cool.
Well, Bubba Pollard, we thank you for coming on the PFC Performance Hotline here today on the Morning Bullring, and we wish you the best of luck. We'll see you at the Alabama 200.
Sounds good. I appreciate you having me on. Thanks, guys.
You got it. Bubba Pollard on the PFC Performance Hotline on the Morning Bullring. We're going to bring in a couple of guests right here. Come on in the center, guys. Okay? Now, this is, remember, honestly, for this kid right here, it's my son Luke. Okay? And he's off today because of President's holiday here, but Blaze, I'm bringing you in here because it's time for you to go to school. Okay, North Carolina, they're not used to snow. They don't prepare for it. So he had an off day for snow a couple weeks ago, and now he's got to go to school on President's Day. What the heck?
I mean, in Vermont, I remember one day it snowed 14 inches overnight.
Yeah.
We still did go in.
That's right.
And then they brought us out 2 hours later, but they're like, no, you still got to wake up. You still got to go in. You guys are so lucky. I remember earlier this year, it was windy. Too windy. And they canceled school.
Yeah, like a quarter of an inch of snow, and they're like, the night before it even drops, they're done. They call school.
It rained too hard one time, and they called it.
So you get to hang out for the rest of the show, whether we bore you or not, because Dylan and I can be pretty boring, but you got to get to school. All right. We're coming back next with a guy from where there is a lot of snow, the great state of Maine, Ben Rowe, another legend of Super Elite Model Racing, coming on the Morning Bullring. We'll be right back.
Speed51.com app today. Breaking news.
features stories, the Unfiltered podcast, live race coverage, schedules, and more right at your fingertips. Download it today on iTunes and the Google Play Store.
The Alabama 200 is underway from Montgomery.
Buckle up, y'all. The Pro Late models return to action. March 1st and 2nd, Montgomery Motor Speedway hosts the 55th Alabama 200. Pro Late models. We've got thrills for all age groups. Montgomery Motor Speedway.
3-car spin over in turn number 4. Now it's 4 cars. Front of the field, the track is blocked.
Non-stop entertainment. 55th Alabama 200, March 1st and 2nd. Don't miss it.
The Boars Compact Touring Series is a 4-cylinder front-wheel drive mess, and it's coming to a track near you. 14 races in 4 different states in 2019. We'll keep the 4-cylinder fans buzzing with excitement. The famed Lucas Oil Raceway in other trips too. Lido, Bearfield, Winchester, Salem Speedway, Flat Rock Speedway. Plus, it's Bristol, baby. Returns on May 31st. Check out bctsracing.com.
You can tell we're definitely having that Speed Weeks hangover this morning here on the Morning Bullring. By the way, we just have to call him out for that. That was Tom Ryan, ladies and gentlemen. Tom Ryan with the missed punch right there. That's right, the big thumbs up in the back. Oh,
he wasn't even with us this week.
No, he was another one of those that we had
he
stay
was
home.
with us. He was with us in text, in spirit. He was definitely with us.
Yeah. And by the way, I got to mention your shirt. I got the brand new Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series shirt made by Arizona Sports Shirts. You can get them at gottarace.com. So check them out. That's what I'm sporting here this morning.
It looks like it's very breathable.
It is.
And it looks
fluffy.
very flowy.
Yeah, flowy. That's it. Not fluffy. Not flowy. Yeah, I love it. Look at that. Urgh. Yeah, actually, Luke has one on right now, too.
And he has a T-shirt.
Gave one to Blaze as well. It's got a big skull on it. It looks like really mean.
Oh, speaking of shirts, sorry, Mark. Hang on, Uncle Mark. I got to talk one minute. Speaking of shirts, I hit 5,000. Remember we talked about this week. I hit 5,000 followers on Twitter.
Congratulations.
And you said that we could give away
That's right.
a hashtag more short tracks shirt. So everyone be on the lookout. On my Twitter.
So you're using 51 to get followers.
But I'm also getting 51 more love.
I love it.
So
I love it. It's a mutually beneficial relationship.
B2B relationships that turns into everyone wins.
Oh, so what's the next time you're going to do something with us? We haven't talked about that.
We haven't talked.
We got to talk about it. Yeah, we have.
We didn't even talk about what was going on this
No, we didn't. We walked in this morning. Mark had half of Studio 51 done for the show. Okay, let's just be honest. We weren't ready here this morning. Tom didn't do it. He'd tell us who was on the show and that sort of thing. Brandon had to step in and do that. I walk in. I'm like, do I even have my earphones? I didn't even know.
I'm just glad you had those because they almost stayed in my pocket after you left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite place to eat during Speed Weeks? Because we went to a lot of different places.
Yeah, Uncle Clucky's was pretty good.
Uncle Chucky's.
I think that you called it Uncle Cluck Clucks.
Uncle Cluck Clucks.
Uncle Cluck Clucks. And I said, they're kicking themselves, saying, "Man, that's a better name than Uncle Chicken."
Yeah. And it's this little. What is that? A1A there?
Yeah.
A1A. It's a little hut. Yeah, and it's kind of. I think it's blue, right? Kind of blue and white.
Like a blue, like a teal color.
Yeah, like a teal figure. Florida, right?
Yep.
And you eat outside on picnic benches and stuff. It's just a neat place to go to.
Yeah, they got all kinds of drinks and whatever you need, and that place was good. The Planet Pizza.
Planet Pizza.
Planet Pizza.
I
was
like
cool.
that. Yeah.
It reminds me of back like up in New York.
Yeah.
Tireberry, it's a little nook there in the strip mall.
I'm going to say, other than, listen, the garlic is a little too expensive. I will say that. It's the best Italian restaurant in the country, and good. They get to charge that because it's packed all the time. Sometimes you got to wait like an hour to get a table there. But my favorite place I was down there with you for 4 days of my big trip. Yeah,
the place with the cheese curds. Is that what you're gonna say?
The cheese
McKenna's.
curds. No, it wasn't
okay.
McKenna's. I love McKenna's.
I really thought you were gonna love the cheese curds.
McKenna's is a good B place for
Okay.
me. Okay, I like the Lost Lagoon by the airport there.
The burger special.
The burger special, but their wings. I was disappointed we didn't go back. I went out to eat with Tom Mabry down there from the Pro All-Star Series to talk about Dylan and some other stuff for the season. And we went to Norwood's, which is very good as well. But I was disappointed because that day I really, you guys went to JB's Fish Camp, I believe.
Yeah.
But, I love going to the Lost Lagoon because they have really good wings there as well. And that's what I was looking forward to the second time.
They had like 20 different burgers on there.
Yes, he did. We got the same one.
Yeah, and didn't even know it. We got the exact same thing.
I think next year we need to get some product sponsorship from Wawa because we ate Wawa more than anything else this week.
Well, it's like the only thing really like that's
on the way.
Well, that doesn't look like you're going to get into trouble walking into, honestly,
True.
on the way back.
Well, you got the Sam Sula Mall across the street with the Subway right across from the track.
Okay.
But we did that for lunch a couple times. But Wawa,
yeah,
I'm trying
it's
to think of a
clean.
night that we didn't stop at Wawa leaving the racetrack.
Well, we went to McDonald's a couple nights.
I got McDonald's one night. I got Taco Bell one night.
You got
two
McDonald's.
nights, and then I was like, listen, I can't do this.
I know, it's
So
awful.
I started ordering extra at lunch, and then I'd put it in the fridge at the track, and then take it home. And everyone's like, "What smells so good?" I'm like, "Man, I got these wings from the place down the street." Like, oh, we messed up.
Yeah, Rob Blount, who was with us for many years, and we love Rob, and he's over at Dirt Vision right now. But he and Brandon used to go and hit up that Taco Bell every night and get like this, not like this, let me get 3 tacos and,
They get the box, huh?
oh my gosh, they get like the bag. And they came back and it make the living room and dining area just stink.
Yeah,
It was awful.
I was a little mad at Dylan. The one night he bought the chicken wings, and we got back, and it was late, and I was tired, so I fell asleep. And I woke up in the middle of the night, and all I could smell was chicken wings, and they smelled so damn good. And it was killing me. But we were I guess you could say we were a picture of consistency for junk food this entire week down at Speed Weeks.
That's what Speed Weeks is all about, actually. Let's find out. We'll go to the PFC Performance Hotline right now where Ben Rowe is. And Ben, you've been down to Speed Weeks a time or two. What's your favorite thing to eat or go to while you're down there?
Wow, you know me. I'm not that fussy. I'll eat about anywhere.
There's not one restaurant or one thing that you look forward to?
No. I mean, I'll go with the flow. You know, I mean, it's wherever we all go. I'm not bashful about eating.
So I understand you're on vacation right now. Did this vacation involve racing, or are you like sitting a foofy drink there with an umbrella, or what's going on right now in the life of Ben Rowe?
Oh, actually, I am in Orlando. Trying to come down a week or so early, took the kids down here, and then on the way home we'll stop and hit the business side of it at Dillon racing next weekend. So.
Oh, there you go. Come back through on the way back up to the White North and hit Dillon, and we'll talk about that in a second. I want to say I apologize to a couple of people. Andy Koloski had a great question for Bubba Pollard, and a lot of other people, Ronnie Smith chiming in and so forth. And I didn't look at my phone to see the questions coming in. So if anybody that's watching this morning on the Morning Bullring, if you have a question for the great Ben Rowe, okay, definitely chime in, and Brandon Paul is monitoring things. And by the way, Jason Stewart just chimed in and said he went to the Garlic on Valentine's Day. Ben, have you ever been to the Garlic there down the road from New Smyrna Speedway?
No, I haven't.
Boy, short answers this morning for Ben Rowe too. Ben, you got to help us out. I know you're on vacation in Orlando, but Dylan Smith and I can't talk that long. You got to talk a little longer for us, pal.
Yeah.
Did you just wake up? Did Brandon Paul, was he your alarm this morning to come on the bull ring to get you up?
Oh, no, we talked a little bit last night, and then I texted this morning. But no, it's I got kids down here, so trust me, we've been We went up early.
So do you put on like the Mickey Mouse ears? We got to give everybody the visual here. When you go to see, Disney World down there, do you get all Mickey Mouse out and so forth?
Yeah, wouldn't I look cute doing that with a Mickey ears? But no, we actually headed out today somewhere, so I don't know where we'll be going. But no, I take part in all that. I'm good that way with the kids, so it's their time this week, and we'll have some fun.
Ben, coming from up north, I'm from Vermont, so I used to watch you race all the time. So I don't think I've ever got to meet you, so it's pretty cool being able to talk to you. We saw Ryan Moore down at New Smyrna for World Series. When you do make the trip down, like, how much planning does it take to make that long trip from up north?
Well, as far as the racing aspect of it, I mean, we've been doing it so long now that, we kind of know the days that we're leaving and planning stuff out. The truck's got to get on the road, a day or so ahead of us. But, there's a lot to it. We have someone book the hotels and all that for us. So as far as me, I just kind of jump in the van and go with everybody else.
Well, hey, we're looking at, Twitter and so forth, and yesterday somebody put up on social media a picture of your race car, and we're going to have Brandon Paul actually post that picture because it is a good-looking race car. Honestly, this new 5-star body looks fantastic. Whatever side of the fence you're on, I don't care at this point. I think I look at this race car and I'm in love. What do you think of this race car going down to Dillon with that new 5-star body? I think it's your best-looking car ever, Ben.
Yeah, we kind of – 5-star stopped making the yellow, Spamu told me, so we had to go with the white and then kind of put bright colors on it just to mix it up a little bit. They colors, but it looks pretty cool. I mean, to me, that body is something we needed. We've had that same body for so many years now. It was time for an update. I think they look cool. Can't wait to get in it and try it. And we'll have to figure out the balance and stuff on that the first day. But I've talked to some people that have tested them, and they said there's not a whole lot of difference that they couldn't really tell. So. Just looking forward to getting back into the seat and getting things going.
So a lot of changes over the past year or so for you. You went to that Seneca chassis. You work with Bubba Pollard a little bit on that. This year, the 5-star body. I just want your thoughts because, Ben, to Dillon, somebody that grew up in New England, you're like one of his heroes, okay? We've known each other for a long time. You were the king of pass for such a long time with the Pro All-Star Series. But then you went through that tough time, dude. I mean, honestly, 2 years prior to getting that win last year, that winless drought. How did that wear on you as a driver that has been so successful throughout time?
Well, it's, you just start doubting everything you're doing. And that's basically what happened. We just kept doing the same thing that we have been doing that we was successful with. And everybody else just caught up. So we had to kind of regroup, bring in some help through Terry Seneca. Mike Gowrie is kind of the one that's behind us, pushing us, answering all our questions, going to the racetrack with us. He's kind of the one leading us in the right direction. And we needed that. We needed that info just to get back on top where we are. And we're definitely heading in the right direction. I don't think we're quite there yet where we want to be, but each week out we get better and better and better. So that's all you can ask for.
Coming into 2019, what tracks, do you really have circled? You're talking about trying to get on the right track, trying to get everything headed in the right direction. What are some of the places that you kind of circle where you know that is a good spot to really evaluate your equipment?
Well, I mean, Dillon for one of them. I usually won pretty well at Dillon. So can't wait to get back there. I love coming south, getting out of the snow and the cold, and just coming down here and racing, with people that I don't usually race against every week. Tracks up home, White Mountain, like a little quarter mile. I kind of love that place. And went there last year and ended up picking up the win there. So that's really where it kind of brought everybody's spirits up. And, hey, we can back on the right.
And Ben, I know you're on the phone on the PFC Performance Hotline right now. We're kind of cutting in and out with you a little bit, Bud. I know you're down there in Orlando, so if you could just keep that, as close to your mouth as possible, would be certainly helpful. But we do have a question for you, honestly, that just came in through our social media. Sandy Sanford wants to know, how does Ben compare competition from the North guys versus the Southern drivers?
Well, I would say, the North guys, they're both tough. They just up north is probably a little more give and take, I think, as far as racing people. But I think it's because we race against each other all the time. When you come down south, you better be ready to roll your sleeves up, beat and bang, get into it with them, because that's how they race down here. They're hard-nosed races in the south, and you have to be ready for that. They don't mean nothing by it. That's just how it is. You better be ready to go up down south. And then you get into a group of guys down here that's, that are real good races. So fun for me to pick up all the different, racing with all the different guys all over the country is pretty cool.
Benny, we talked to Bubba earlier. He's going to make the trek up to Thunder Road for the Milk Bowl. Is there any place that you've raced down in the South that you could compare to a track back up north?
No, not really, especially Thunder Road. I was listening to this show and heard that Bubba wanted to go try Thunder Road, and I just kind of chuckled to myself. But
he said he's going to tongue the cow if he's able to win, Ben. He's going to tongue the cow.
Yeah, well, I don't doubt him. What he's done, I wouldn't doubt him at all. But I just kind of laughed, and one guy to come up there his first time in win that thing. You know what I mean? That is a tough place, and I will be there that weekend actually, and I can't wait to see that.
Wait, are you racing, or are you just going as a fan?
We race that weekend. The pass runs there that weekend, so I'll be there for that.
I'm still not used to pass being there the same weekend, because through the years that for a while there that just was never going to happen, and fortunately everything got agreed upon and shaken up and simmered down, and now it's a heck of a weekend there at Thunder Road.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Hey Ben, talking about Dillon this weekend, you've won there one time at Dillon. You said you love that racetrack, and now going into this weekend, we're expecting a very good car count there. What are your thoughts going into that race in terms of the event itself, the facility, and the competition that you're going to face?
Well, the facility is just, it's one of those places that you love to go to because Ron Barfield, he keeps it up. He loves short track racing. He accommodates you in any way he can. So as far as coming all the way from the north, it's one of those places we love going to. And I think the 200 lapper has just grown into something big. This time of year when people out of the north want to get out and go south, and the south people, it's getting big enough where it's attracting them too. So I can't wait. Like I said, I can't wait to hit the track, get going. I heard there's a bunch of good guys coming, so that's always a plus. Put on a good show for the fans and see what happens.
Ben Rowe, how happy are you to be away from Maine right now and not have to deal with the snow that Brandon Paul is saying is falling right now in the state of Maine?
Yeah, it was. When I left the other day, it was snowing. It's been a long winter up there. It seems like every other day it's been snowing or the cold. So hopefully when I get back, there'll only be 3 or 4 weeks of cold weather, and then we'll start getting into the warm stuff up there. So.
Hey, is the idea, Ben, this year, obviously you're coming down to Dillon, or technically you're going up because you're in Orlando right now, but is the idea to contend for another past national championship?
Yeah, that's the plan right now. With Richard Moody, he just loves racing and wants to go to them all. So right now it's, all the national, all the north, and then, we'll sprinkle in a few other south races or in between races from there. But, that's the goal right now. It'll be tough to catch Derek. He's kind of on a roll right now, and that's pretty cool for them guys. So just can't wait to get to Dillon and race him and everybody else.
Ben, looking further down the road a little bit in this season, a track that we didn't get to go to last year, it got ran out of Richmond. What are your thoughts on Richmond with these cars? I think it's going to be a great show. I'm excited to see it.
Yeah, I think it's wild. I've only been to Richmond just to watch as a fan. So a Super Late model at Richmond, whew, I mean, I think it's going to be pretty wild. So I think it'll be fun. We race them at Loudon, which is a mile. So and it's usually a great race. So I think Richmond, it's going to be side by side. Hopefully we can get a bunch of cars, get the car count up, and on a great show. That whole weekend is going to be pretty cool. I mean, for me to go down and watch the modifieds and stuff like that, it's going to be pretty cool as a fan too.
Hey, Ben, question for you. This weekend at Dillon, obviously we talked about a great event. And if everybody, anyone is in the area, you got to get to Dillon because it's fun. The backstretch sits a little bit higher than the front stretch, so you really have a good vantage point when you sit in the grandstands. You can see the entire track. Ron Barfield really made that place a special place. But we know that, whether you're, up in the Midwest or you have a lot of folks up in the Northeast, a lot of people can't make the trek down that far. You got job, you got family, you name it. So we're doing the pay-per-view style broadcast. What is there, what do people think about that up north when they have the pay-per-view broadcast to be able to see that and be able to watch guys like you and others go at it there at Dillon this weekend?
Well, I mean, I get a lot of positive feedback from that, just because it is so far away from everybody up into the snow, and they want to keep up with, not only me, Derek, and the other drivers that are coming down from the north. They want to see what's going on. They want to get into the racing things too. So, doing that pay-per-view is pretty cool for them because they're all over that. I mean, I heard from a bunch of people already that can't wait to watch that race.
Well, Ben, we appreciate you coming on the Morning Bullring. First-time caller here on the Morning Bullring. We're going to have to get a sound effect or something like that. Mark Killer's going to have to work on that a little bit. But, Ben, we appreciate you coming on so early in the morning. Have fun. And if you do go to Disney World, you have to, and you need to text me the picture. You need to put on the hat with the Mickey Mouse ears, okay? Promise me?
Yeah, 10-4, I will do.
Can you get there's an ice cream cone too with Mickey ears in it? You got the Mickey ears on your head, and you got to be eating the ice cream cone with the Mickey ears at the same time.
Yeah, if I do that, I'll send the picture.
There you go. Ben Rowe going to Dillon Motor Speedway in South Carolina this weekend. He will be competing in the First Pass National Super Late Model event of the year. You can see that live on speed51.com. It'll be a pay-per-view style broadcast. And for those that can't make it, hey, it's the next best thing, Dillon.
Yeah, I mean, like he just said, people all over the country, they love racing. We don't get enough short track racing. Like, we don't get to see it enough. In Speed 51, we're able of bringing that to you live. So, and it helps sponsors. It helps drive people to want to be a part of short track racing.
Hey, by the way, if anybody has seen Nick Hoffman, wake up. This is your wake-up call. Somebody go over. Maybe Jeremy or Ashley can go over and just give him a jingle. I've texted him like 2 or 3 times. I've called him, and I think the dirt racer, he's got that big gator. Maybe he's afraid to get out of the bed because he's got the big gator down there, doesn't want to get out of the bed, thinks it's a real gator. He thinks he's still in Florida. But Nick Hoffman, wake up, dude. We're awaiting your call here on the Morning Bullring. So we're gonna punt. Okay, and we're going to go coming up next, Sammy Smith. We're going to go to the Anthony Campy racing driver next year, and then hopefully Hoff will wake up. He's a heck of a shoe, but he's not good in the morning.
Come on, bro. We need you. Come on.
We'll see you coming up next. Sammy Smith on the other side of the break here on the Morning Bullring.
Cousin Sammy.
Race fans, download the new Speed51.com app today. Breaking news, feature stories, the Unfiltered podcast, live race coverage, schedules, and more right at your fingertips. Download it today on iTunes and the Google Play Store.
Race fans, it's time to kick off the 2019 race season as the past Super Late Models roar into Dillon Motor Speedway on Saturday afternoon, February 23rd for the 14th annual Winter Meltdown 200. Catch past champions Ben Rowe, Derek Griffith, and Matt Craig, along with North America's top short track stars. Compete for 200 green flag laps, plus see action for the challengers and mini stocks. It's the past National Championship Series in the Winter Meltdown 200, heading to Dillon Motor Speedway on Saturday afternoon, February 23rd at 2 p.m. For more information, go to ProAllStarSeries.com.
Speed 51's video network, where the battles are legendary. Get the full picture on short track racing. We'll take you behind the scenes.
He's just a meathead. He's always the same way.
Your track, your driver, your sport, your passion. Dirt, late models, modifieds, and more. Race highlights, recaps, interviews, and thousands of on-demand videos. Speed 51 Network, short track racers' home for the best video coverage.
Nine a.m. in the morning on the Morning Bullring here on Speed51.com, and we're just waking up. Mark had to clean the sleepers out of his eyes this morning. Did you see that? He's out there. Oh, he's like, I was so tired. It's so foggy on the way back. And
I kind of felt bad because when I got here this morning,
Yeah.
he was the only one, and I had my Bojangles. I was like, I was ready to go. I had Bojangles. I'm like, I'm watching him work, and I was hungry.
Yeah, I'm sure he's hungry too, and you probably didn't even bring him any. And that is like a yellow stripe,
I thought about it.
Rookie move.
I thought about it, and then I got in line, and I was like,
Thought doesn't count.
yeah, that's not what my mom said. My mom said it's a thought that counts.
You know what my mom said? My mom said, you know what happened to Mr. Thought, right?
You never thought?
Do you know this?
No, I've never read this.
You thought you farted, but you might have done something else.
Soundbite number 2
There
for
you
today.
go.
That's like such a dad joke.
Yeah.
Like, that's such a dad
So
joke.
we've got he's gonna tongue the cow, and that one. So this is making for a great sizzle reel coming up for next week.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And we're gonna. I think we might even cut an open this week. Right, Tom? No. No. Whoa.
You thought wrong.
Get over here. He's not shy.
Over here?
On the mic.
Okay.
On the mic.
Check 1 2.
Look, he's got a.
Hello? 1 2.
You see the difference in height right there. There you go.
Wait, can we talk about that for 2 seconds? Mark told me that we were the same height, and I stood up next to him, and I was
It's
looking
less
over
than
his
an inch.
head.
It's less than an inch.
My 8-year-old
when you
son
got
is
that
the
hair
same
down.
height as Mark now.
Yeah, no joke. He's past my shoulder, and I'm not happy about it.
The thing about the Morning Bullring, this is always free. Okay, and will remain free. It's good short track discussion.
dinero.
No dinero. People sometimes criticize us for having things behind a paywall and so forth. We got to pay the bills, just like everybody else.
Takes a lot of work to do
but this show, we're doing this so that we show you, hey, we're here. We're going to talk short track racing. It's going to be free. It's good promotion for the tracks, the series, the drivers, you name it.
The sponsors, everybody.
Absolutely. So definitely, let us know what you think. Share our Facebook Live post here. Spread the word because we need your help for sure. We need your help to spread the word about the Morning Bullring, free for everybody to watch. Let us know, if you're a driver, you want to be on, if you're a track, a series promoter, you name it. You can email Tom at speed51.com. He's our producer. He can get you on the show better than I can because I'm off in Never Never Land doing all sorts of stuff. But he's the man, Tom at speed51.com. And speaking of Tom, we do have the network, which listen, it's $9.99 a month. Okay. And honestly, I think it's like $79.99 a year. So a big discount if you go on the yearly route. That's a price of a value meal. Honestly, you go to Chick-fil-A or Bojangles. Okay. It costs you that for lunch when you go there. So it's not much. You can sacrifice one lunch. It might be good on your waistline. I need to do that too. Maybe you too, Tom. We both need to go on diets, especially after speed weeks when you eat so much junk food. But what do we see on that network? Because I know you and the boys and the girls were really hard at work during speed weeks.
Absolutely. The effort we put in was amazing this week, and even since the beginning of 2019. 2019, we went to Speedfest, had over 20 videos. Went to Winter Showdown, had over 20 videos. Went to Speed Weeks, we're going to have well over 20 videos for that also. We have interviews, recaps, highlight packages,
Blooper clips.
Yeah, blooper clips. Basically, the landscape is changing, people, and you all need to transfer over to getting online. Between us and other places out there, it's amazing what you can get online for racing now. Unfortunately, Speed Channel, where Bob and I worked years ago, has gone away. So the only way to get your fix nowadays for that is online. And I believe that we bring the best product possible online. And for, like you said, only $79.99 a year, it's totally worth it.
And everybody, has their area, so to speak. We pride ourselves in being 100% short track racing. So we have a lot of pavement where we really have our roots, and then we have a bunch of dirt as well. But there, like you said, Tom, there are other ways for people to, satisfy their appetite. Dirt Vision does a great job with their live programming. DirtOnDirt.com covers dirt late models, especially on the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series and the World of Outlaws Late Model Series. It does a great job over there. We're really focusing in on some of the, especially around the Southeast, the local dirt late model scene to give them a little bit more publicity and so forth. So, you have RacingDirt.com that does a lot of, USMTS and so forth out there in the Midwest. Racing Boys does some stuff all over the country, especially with the ASCS series. The Cushion does a lot of great things. There's a lot of speed shift. Flow racing. Everybody's got their little niche in the community, and I'm sure I'm missing some for sure. And I apologize if I am missing some. Cars Tour TV does a good job with their stuff. So there's a lot of different facets to what you can see, both from live racing as well as the on-demand type of stuff. You were just asking me how many races we had live this year so far on Speed 51.
Yeah, so it's important for everybody to know, I think, that the racing community is the racing community. It's everything. It's dirt and everything. So I think it's awesome. I think it's awesome what we do. It's awesome that we help get everyone else out there too. I'm excited about being a part of it. And it helps drive sponsors into the industry.
And you can see this right here. These are all the thumbnails, basically, of all the videos. You're on several of them.
Yeah, I got some good outtakes.
Yes, you do have some good outtakes. And Tom cut something that he put up on his personal social media, but we're going to actually put it up on the network too. Tom, what was your favorite thing that you cut? We could see all these videos here. From Speed Fest and Winter Showdown and Speed Weeks and so forth. What was your favorite video so far this year?
I'd have to say, besides the one I cut personally for my own thing, which was basically a shout out as a manager. Very proud of the group down there at Speed Weeks. We tried something different, me not being down there, and they exceeded my expectations in the long run, and it was really good. But Condog with the modified tour recaps, the kid is so knowledgeable.
The legend of Condog came about.
That's right. And we're going to have a video on the network about that, how it came from actually the morning Bullring.
Yes.
And Bob Dillner and Doug Kobe, and it just spread like wildfire to the Daytona 500 guy, Ryan Preece, who actually made it even bigger.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun to watch.
Connor, man, he actually sent us a picture of the Great White North, and there was snow everywhere. But Connor, man, he was awesome to work with. He was fun. He helped me with my camera stuff for my first time being at Speed Weeks. And the kid loves modified racing. He loves racing in general, but modifieds, the ground pounders, that's his thing. That's his niche.
By the way, you can tell that this is a raw show because I'm texting on the air right now. Nick Hoffman just woke up. He says, I'm a dirt racer. We don't wake up that early. What do you want?
No, real quick, I was on this network, this video thing. Tom, scroll down or actually, it's right here on the top. Something that just stuck out to me. Look at that, videos in this search.
You got to show us.
Yeah, we can't. I'm looking at myself. I'm looking at my pretty face over here. Like, look at this.
It's early. But look at that, 2,994, and that's not including any live races.
Yeah, no, that's
2,994 videos
that
you can watch for free anytime you want. Fast forward, pause, go backwards. And I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt, but that just kind of stuck out to me because I hadn't seen that number before, and that's pretty incredible.
Yeah, there's special videos on there. You can relive Kyle Busch's win in, was it 2009 from the Snowball Derby?
Yeah.
To Christian Eckes 2016 one-on-one in the grandstands with Bob. We do a private interview with Kyle Busch after last year. This year we're going to have the winner Noah Gragson. We'll put that up probably right before the Derby this year. It's not your ordinary just highlight packages.
Music videos, all sorts of stuff for sure. Just so many good things on the network for $9.99 a month and $79.99 a year. That's tough to say in this morning, especially when you're hungover from Speed Weeks. Yeah. Tongue tied a little bit.
There it goes again.
Yeah, absolutely. Tell you what, we just need to get to the PFC Performance Hotline. Do we have Sammy on the line yet? Mark? We did? He hung up.
He's a
no,
kid.
you hung up.
He's a kid. He's only 14.
No, Mark
I thought I
hung
was
up.
calling Nick Hoffman, so I hung up on him.
Oh,
by accident. I
that's
was like,
funny.
"Who's on the
That's
phone?"
funny. No, we'll stay. Nick, he made us wait, so we're gonna make him wait a little bit here. Nick Hoffman, great job in the dirt car UMP modified circuit at Volusia, winning another big gator.
He's not wrong about the dirt guy, I think.
No, he's not.
Because when I worked with Larson at the diversity program, I would have to go up. Randy Goss would make me go into the trailer and wake him up. It'd be dark. Kyle's like, what? I'm like, it's time to go to practice. He's like, already?
Yeah. Pavement. They have practice, and then they have practice, and we're always talking about
more
practice.
We ain't talking about the race.
We're talking about practice.
Talking about
practice, baby. Can we talk about practice? Let's talk about practice with Sammy Smith on the line right now. And Sammy, thank you for joining us. Do you have school this morning?
Yeah, thank you for having me. And I'm homeschooled, so I got to get caught up on some work from last week.
Yeah, 14 years old, I believe. Am I correct there?
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. 14 years old, already a champion at New Smyrna Speedway during Florida Speed Weeks. How do you put that into words, dude? I mean, you're 14 years old and a champ during Speed Weeks in the shadows of Daytona. What does that feel like?
Yeah, it feels really good to be winning in New Smyrna at my age. I didn't think I would be here at the beginning of the week, but I am now. So,
Sammy, I got to spend a little bit of time with you and your 81 Anthony Campy guys. We talked about, your expectations, and it seemed like as the week went on, you gained more and more confidence, and you really thought that by the end of the week that you were going to be able to get a win or two and eventually capture the championship, and you were able to do all that, winning the last few races and in the championship. I mean, great job to you, man. So tell us what's next? What's next for Sammy Smith?
yeah, thank you. And we're getting a schedule put together this week for more races down the road with Anthony Campy, and hopefully we'll be running the rest of the season with him.
I see on the graphic that we're showing on the screen right now, there's some door dings right there, so some wheel marks for sure. What did you think about the racing at New Smyrna during the Pro Late Model ranks?
Yeah, it's really tight racing. It's really hard to pass. You have to pass off the corner. It's really hard to pass getting in.
What's the biggest transition thing that you had to learn going from your legend car to the big car in the Pro Late Model?
Probably the power and passing, finding where that right front's at.
Yeah, you can't use, like in Legends car racing, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I was around it for a long time with my kids. It's almost like push to pass. Okay, so you really can't push to pass in a Pro Late Model, can you?
No.
So down there, what was the one thing you get the opportunity to run, 8 races or something like that down there? So what was the one thing that you can say you walked away with that was a great learning tool that you took in and are going to be able to use from here on out, running that many races in such a short period of time?
Yeah, definitely passing, because I ran the red eye 50-50, and it didn't go as well. I was struggling with passing, and I think I've got passing down there.
Sammy, we see you got TMC. Michael Nett just won at Daytona, and I know the Nett family has helped you out. How's that relationship kind of unfolded, and going into the future? You think that it'll keep growing in the way that it's going right now?
Yeah, so my dad, he represents Michael and Nett. My dad owns an agency company for NASCAR drivers. So he represents him. And then my dad used to work for Harold Annett, the CEO of GMC, when he was a kid.
Well, that's pretty cool. Small world for sure. And I've known your dad for a long time, and it's nice to see you come up through the ranks. Honestly, when I saw your name at first, I'm like, I didn't put two and two together. But now you're winning, and you're being successful in the pro late model ranks. So what do you think the schedule holds for you this year? Here, I know you said you're going to discuss that, but what are you thinking is the next race, or a couple of races that you might want to hit?
Yeah, I think we'll probably run down south, probably more races at New Smyrna, maybe Alabama, and Pensacola.
Pensacola would be fun. And is it going to all be pro late model stuff, or are you maybe going to venture out eventually into the super late model stuff as well?
Probably just pro late models this year.
Okay, that's actually a smart move for sure. Anthony Campy Racing, the team that you drove with, what was it like to work with Anthony, and how did he help tutor you during Speed Weeks?
Yeah, Anthony's helped me a lot with just, if I mess something up getting into the corner or off the corner, he corrects me, and I fix it that next corner.
Well, that's a big thing for sure. And what is the toughest part about your job, so far? Is it the racing? Is it the public speaking, being put on the spot? What is it about, being a 14-year-old and trying to do this and be successful? What is the toughest part that you think you got right now?
I think it might be some of all.
Some of all. There you go. All of the above. That is like a typical 14-year-old answer. It's like check D.
Yeah, it's like I've never done this before. I've never done that before. I've never done this before. So it's like everything's new.
Yeah.
Sam, I have a bet going with Bob. Right now I'm winning. Okay, it's what would you rather eat? And I know you're from
I was just going to go there.
Yeah, I know you're from Iowa, but you've been down here. Are you going Bojangles or Chick-fil-A? Which side of the fence are you on?
Chick-fil-A.
Yes!
I'm not surprised. He's 14. He's young. He don't know.
Sammy!
He doesn't know what soul food's all about yet. It's okay, Sam. Come hang out with me. We'll get you turned in.
Slamming Sammy. I like this kid even better now. You put old Mamba down.
Sam, I'm a little disappointed. I've been talking you up all week. I thought we had a good relationship, and I figured you'd have my back on that.
Yeah, I don't really eat Bojangles too much. We don't have those up here.
See?
But it's only because he doesn't have it up there. Not that he doesn't like it.
My sons argue with me all the time on it. Bojangles is good, but I'm a Chick-fil-A guy. Man. If Bojangles sponsored us, I'd probably be more of a Bojangles guy. But that's another point. Now, hey, Sammy, I do want to ask you this, because you talked about being homeschooled and so forth, and you got to catch up. How much work do you have to catch up on right now, and what are you taking in class and in school?
Yeah, I got ahead in 3 of the classes, and I got to get caught up on math. I think I'm a little bit behind in math, but everything else I'm ahead in.
So you're getting homeschooled, like guys like Harrison Burton. Harrison goes to school still. What do you think being homeschooled is a kind of an advantage, because you can kind of take your time, and if you fall behind, you can kind of how to get yourself back to where you need to be, or which way would you rather do it?
Yeah, I think homeschool, this is my first year being homeschooled. I think it's a lot better because, if I get behind and I'm gone, the teachers, if I was in school, don't go back and teach the whole lesson. I kind of just got to get caught up and teach myself how to do it. But at homeschool, I can kind of just watch a video and it gets me caught up.
Hey, Sammy, I got a good next race for you to go to. March 2nd, I believe, is the date. Alabama 200, Montgomery Motor Speedway. Could that be your next race? What do you think?
I think Colby Howard is racing that one.
Oh, okay. Well, good for Colby, but bummer for you.
Yeah.
That's a good race.
Thanks for you,
Yeah,
Too bad.
exactly.
Sit at home.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I mean, Sammy, before we let you go, you were down there for a long time, and we've asked Bubba Pollard and Ben Rowe and a lot of really good race car drivers, did you get out and explore a little bit of Florida? I know you were at the racetrack just about every night. What was the favorite place that you went to eat, maybe for lunch or whatever down there?
Yeah, I really didn't have too much time because once we got back, I slept in and then west to the track, but I think Garlic's was a really good restaurant.
Yes, the garlic, baby.
You got it.
I agree with you, bro. Absolutely. The Garlic, definitely a great place. Sammy, congratulations on your Pro Late Model title at New Smyrna Speedway, and we appreciate you coming on the Morning Bullring.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
You got it. Can you believe 14 years old and he's a champion at New Smyrna Speedway?
What were you doing at 14, Bob?
I was actually at New Smyrna Speedway. I lied. I was tall. That was a good thing because I was able to lie on my NASCAR
Must be nice.
application. Yeah, Mark Keeler couldn't do that, and
Yeah,
I was able to
getting it free until I was 20. So
I was able to pass for 16 and get my NASCAR license and get into the pits at New Smyrna Speedway, and that was the first year that I was part of the other side. You know, I was in the grandstands for so long with my mom and my dad and even my little brother, who's not my little brother anymore. But, you know, I was able to to hang out with them and just watch and enjoy racing. And then that was the first year when I was 14. I went down to New Smyrna Speedway and went in the pits. And then there was all the modified guys that I just idolized for so many years. And I was part of Area Auto Racing News and being able to interview them and write stories about them. And that's what I was doing at 14. So I was kind of winning at that time, too. At least that's what I consider a win.
This is scary because when I was 13, the first live pit area I was ever in was New Smyrna. And I was in like 90.
How did you get in? Did you sneak underneath the
They
hole of the
opened it
fence?
up. No, because before then, all you could do was at like Seekonk, you could hop the wall in turn 3.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
they'd see
You never
me
did
coming
that.
through. No, hell no. Not till after the races, but that's actually kind of funny because they opened it up for everybody. But you had to pay full price. But when I was 13, my dad took me in the pits at Smyrna, and that was the first live pit area I had ever been in. And I mean, walking by and seeing Mario Fiore and the Teddy Bear Pools team and Jimmy Spencer, and the cars are like right there. It was just absolutely insane.
I'll put it this way. I walked out of there, and I believe Randy Sweet was there that year. And I learned things as a 14-year-old that 14-year-olds shouldn't learn.
Guaranteed. Like,
That's awesome.
It's crazy because, so we're talking about 14-year-olds, and when I was 14, I wasn't even allowed in the pits yet.
Yeah.
Like, so it was like a becoming an adult moment when you could finally do that, and now you got kids racing at 12.
12.
And full
Harrison
body stock
Burton
cars.
started at 12.
It's crazy.
Yes, it's nuts. Harrison Burton did pretty well for himself.
He
By
did.
the way, we haven't done the news. You got some news?
Yeah, I got some news.
You got some news. Being that we're like way behind, we're just like kind of going with the flow this morning, and Hoffman's now waiting on our call. We'll make you wait a little bit, buddy. No. What's in the news of short track racing after a grand Speed Weeks?
Other than Bojangles still being the best chicken around,
Popeyes.
At the World
Louisiana Kitchen.
At the World Series of Asphalt Stock Car Racing in New Smyrna, Bubba Pollard took the TM Ranch number 11, that's normally driven by Dave Rogers, to its 5th World Series title. He had 3 wins on the week, so congrats to those guys. Sammy Smith, we just heard from him. He had 2 wins. He also won the Zach Donati Memorial Race, so he also took his championship. And then we flipped over to the dirt side over at Volusia.
Why did you do pavement before dirt?
Why?
Yeah.
Because
Why?
you saved the best for
Are
last.
you listening to
You
Mark?
saved the
Oh,
best for
I
last.
like that answer. Love it.
Such a kid. Never mind. I can't say it.
Tony, my dirt guys, hey. We go over to Volusia County for the Dirt Car Nationals. Brandon Shepard put on a show, man. He won all 4 races that he entered out there. He ripped the lip, put on the cush, let the big dog eat. He got
did.
himself a big gator.
Mike Marlar, I think, was the only other winner out there in that Longhorn chassis with Kevin Rumley. So a good outing for them because that was their first trip out together with Mike Marlar and Kevin Rumley coming together, and they won the first race out.
Yeah, so a lot of good racing we saw over Speed Weeks. What do you think? What was your favorite part? Like, what was your favorite racing going on?
Well, I mean, listen, I
know you're kind of in the between. I got you in a bind right now.
No, you don't. Honestly, I love the
Modified guys listening.
The Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series.
Look who we started with.
Listen, the modifieds were second for sure for me, and I saw a lot of great racing. And the modifieds, especially the first night out on Monday, it was like, you got to be kidding me. One of our cameramen went down, so I was on camera 2. So I was doing the battle camera, and I didn't know where to look.
You were supposed to be helping me that night. It's night 1. All right, Mamba, I'm going to work with you. Perfect. Oh, hey, camera guy down. You're on your own.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going to wing it. Swing.
Hey, I had to do whatever I could to help out the show. I looked at Mark, and I'm like, he's like, oh, we're down a camera. I'm like, do you want me on it, Mark? It's been a while since I've been on that type of camera.
It was
Usually
good, though.
Camera on the shoulders.
But you're not wrong about that racing. It's something about modifieds for 35 laps on a half mile like that was insane.
Yeah, I think the big thing between pavement and dirt, I think, is that there's multiple lines on dirt, and the driver can make up for so much more. A lot of pavement is about technology, honestly, and a single line. You have to hit that line perfect.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference between pavement and dirt.
Well, talking to Logan Seavey, because he did both this week. The track changes so much in a dirt race, and the track doesn't really change in an asphalt race. You talk to guys like Bubba, who's doing a little bit of both. There's so many things that are similar, but there's also major things that are different.
What else you got? You said you're going to dirt, and then you stopped.
Yeah, well,
you
then
did
we started
Volusia,
talking.
and that's it.
We got we still have Volusia. We're still there. Lightning Larry White, he won the Big Block Championship at Volusia County. He got himself a Big Gator at the Dirt Car National too.
Yeah, I think Stuart Friesen won, Billy Decker won,
Stuart Friesen went
Matt Shepard won.
He went from Daytona on the big track Friday night to going back onto the dirt where we all know he loves to be and winning. So it was pretty cool.
And we love us some big block modifieds up here for sure. We're going to talk to the Dirt Car UMP style Big Gator champion down at Volusia in just a little while here on our show. We got Matt Hirschman coming up next. So pavement and dirt modifieds, we got you covered here on the Morning Bullring on speed51.com. So we love them both. Anything else?
Yeah, one more.
One more.
We got Tour Modified champ. Well, I think we're actually going to talk to him.
Hershey.
We're talking to Hershey. He won the last 3 nights at Speed Weeks, which is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
He won the John Blewett III Memorial and the Richie Evans Memorial, but the champ, the champ was Chuck Hosfeld.
Right. Hirschman won the last 3 nights, which you would think he would win the championship, but Chuck Hosfeld won the championship because he was a picture of consistency, and that's not Alec Jorgensen's line.
No, but it became the line of the weekend, so that was good.
That's right. We love Alec for sure. Hopefully he's watching. He's back home outside of Tampa, Florida this morning. He did a great job as your cameraman. I was supposed to be the cameraman a little bit more down there, but then I got thrown into a couple other roles and had some meetings and so forth. So it was busy Speed Weeks.
We were tandem drafting. We did a good job.
Yeah, and dude, he outran you on pit road.
Wait, no. Dylan got him back the next night.
Oh, really?
Thank you, Uncle Mark. Let's set the story straight.
Put him to because that first night. So it's actually kind of funny because the first night we see Alec, and I'm looking at his shot on the little monitor so I can see, and I see Dylan in front of him, and then all of a sudden Dylan's gone because he passed him. And then the next night, Alex running down pit road holding the camera, and here comes just this flash right into the shot, and it was Mama. So
he
made
was
up for it
flying, you would say, right?
Because we gave him a lot of crap.
I took way too much. There's no way anyone on Speed 51 is going to run faster than me. No way.
Oh, I'm like a gazelle.
Wait, Bob's got one
I'm
stride.
like a gazelle.
I want to watch that. I want to
Okay,
see that.
we have to go to a track. And we're going to try it.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we're going to do.
Oh,
We're going to
it's
put
on.
it on the Speed 50. Maybe we even broadcast it live.
Oh, yeah.
Because here's the deal. You'll get me at the start, but look out because I'm coming.
Listen, unless we're running a mile, you're not catching me.
I don't know.
Are we going to do this? Because I'm like all for it.
It's live. He just said it live, so everybody.
That is
send
awesome.
in some things that we should put this on because we're making a bet. 'Cause
Yes.
I know I'm gonna win, so let's go.
We know Bob's going to owe you Bojangles.
At least, and not for one day either. He still owes me already from before.
It can't be like a 40-yard dash.
What do you want it to be?
And we're going to have to discuss that.
All right.
Let us know how long you
How
think
far?
the race should be
Yeah.
between Mamba and myself. Okay, because we're gonna do it at some point. I got to
Hashtag.
go into a little training. Might need to eat a little less Bojangles and Chick-fil-A, but we're gonna make it work.
My training diet is Bojangles at 9 a.m. Paid flight piss combo.
Yeah, and by the way, did you see Alec run? Did you get a chance to look? The dude looked like the Joker, you know? He was like a little bit of a penguin. He was trying to hold the camera so steady, and he's kind of walking with these short little steps.
I had to remind him, I'm not taking your camera live if you're running down pit road. Just get there and get set. Because there was like twice that I'm watching, he's just trying so hard to hold it steady, and you're right, it was little steps.
Yeah.
But he did an excellent job for us down there. So
He was
it
awesome
was
to
awesome.
work with. I was running behind him. I keyed the radar. I said, he runs funny.
It was great. It was great. Save us, Mark. Take us to break, and on the other side of the break, we're going to have the man who scored a hat trick. And we'll find out if he knows what a hat trick is next on the Morning Bullring. Matt Hirschman.
it's quicker.
Chris Ferguson will take the chips home. He'll win it.
PFC Brakes. More championships than any other. From late models to modifieds on pavement and dirt. With at-track service like no other. Success means no compromises.
A 5th win of the year for Ty Majeski. He'll take it.
Lighter, stiffer, cooler, quicker. PFC Brakes. The secret is, it's quicker.
Race Car Engineering is your single source supplier for all your racing equipment. Dirt, asphalt, drag strip, street rod, or off-road. Their experts can keep you on the track and in the lead no matter what type of racing you do. Hundreds of brands, thousands of parts. Find them online at racecareng.com or call them toll-free at 800-882-7231 and make sure to ask for your free catalog. That's Race Car Engineering, 800-882-7231.
Race fans, it's time to kick off the 2019 race season as the past Super Late models roar into Dillon Motor Speedway on Saturday afternoon, February 23rd for the 14th annual Winter Meltdown 200. Catch past champions Ben Rowe, Derek Griffith, and Matt Craig, along with North America's top short track stars. Compete for 200 green flag laps, plus the action for the challengers and mini stocks. It's the past National Championship Series in the Winter Meltdown 200, heading to Dillon Motor Speedway on Saturday afternoon, February 23rd at 2 p.m. For more information, go to ProAllStarSeries.com.
Oh, no, it's not easy to get followers. Tom Ryan is jealous. TJR the 9 is how you can follow him on Twitter. Make sure you follow him. He tweets all sorts of funny stuff, and he's a good follower. We're trying to get Tom Ryan some followers because Mamba just hit 5,000. Say thank you to everybody that
Thank you to Mamba Nation. It's a great day to be alive. I have not said that yet this morning.
Mamba Nation.
Mamba Nation.
That's great.
They're out here in full force. I appreciate everyone who supports me and follows along this journey.
You know, we do have to bring this up because Tom Ryan, although we love him, is way outnumbered this morning because you can see by your hat. We have 3 Patriots guys here, and we just needed to mention that because it's only been 2 weeks since the Patriots won the Super Bowl again.
I was there. I was in Atlanta.
But you didn't go to the game.
I didn't go to the game. I am not.
Let's clarify that.
I know. Yeah.
He's sulking.
Listen.
Yeah, Tom is like mad. Look at him.
Isn't he a Steelers fan?
He is.
How mad are you going to be when AB comes to New England?
I don't care.
Oh,
salty. You know he's big time mad.
He's doing nothing in Pittsburgh.
Oh yeah, he's doing nothing.
He's leaving. That's what he's doing.
And I bet you when he comes to the Patriots, he'll be like a happy guy.
Yeah, he'll be stoked.
Yeah.
All they want you to do is do your job.
You're a little West Coast there. You went stoked.
Stoked. I like stoked.
Yeah, so do I. You hung out with the Deegans a little bit.
The Deegans a little bit, and Sheldon Creed. Creedley is he's just so West Coast.
By the way, we should show this, Tom. Speaking of the Deegans, Haley Deegan, good talent, and got the pole by virtue of her high practice speed for the K&N East race.
Yep.
Unfortunately, had something wrong underneath the hood during that race there. You heard it, it was like almost on the, rev chip the whole way down the straightaway, and had some trouble there and was an early retiree and ran strong in the Pro Late model race, while she was there. She was only there for a couple nights, but we had an unbelievable wreck there. Actually, we can't show it to you right now. I forgot about that. That was on the live broadcast. My bad. But, that was a heck of a wreck that she took on the front stretch there.
She did a great job, I thought. You could tell the steps she's made from last year, and it's exciting to see where she's going. I got to talk to her and Brian a little bit, and I really thought that she would have sat on the pole anyway for the East race. I think that they had the best car, and then they had that struggle. And then the pro race, she was racing hard, and it was just one of those deals, and she hit a ton down there, down the straightaway. And it always seems to go that way. Like you run two races in one night, you have bad luck the first one, it almost doubles down the second one almost every time. So unfortunately for her, that's what happened. But
cool looking car.
Yeah, it's good looking. It's clean.
It was.
It's clean.
Sleek.
It's just that flat black and has that monster logo down it. I mean, it's It's pretty clean.
Yeah, I loved it for sure. And the Deegan, great family. I saw her dad there, Brian, and her mom as well. So nice to see them, and we wish them the best of luck this year. Do we have Hershey on the line? Let's go to the PFC Brakes Performance Hotline here and get with the guy that lives on Mud Lane. That's right,
Big
in
money.
Pennsylvania. Big money, Matt Hirschman, 3 wins in a row. That was a pretty incredible feat that you did there, Matt. Do you know what a hat trick is?
Well, that's too easy. That's a combination of goals and assists. You can win 3 in hockey.
No, not quite. Not quite. It's just 3 straight goals in hockey. So you almost had it. You were almost the first racer to have it correct. Christopher Bell didn't know. Bubba Pollard didn't know. Somebody else, too. I can't remember who it was. We haven't had a racer answer it completely correct just yet. But, hey, you scored the hat trick. How did that feel?
It was good for me. It was a great recovery for us because we had a wreck on Tuesday night that nearly ended our speed week, and we were able to take a better look at it because initially I thought we were done, and after we were able to assess it and have some people with some insight look at a picture or two, and I talked to my dad from home, and they suggested we try and weld it up and repair it the best we could and see how it would run. And once we were able to make the repairs, I couldn't say the car was any better, but it wasn't any worse either. So we decided to run it, and were able to really find our groove Wednesday night. And once I found it, I never got off it.
So we told the story earlier on the morning Bullring about how your kid loves Andy J, and that's the favorite driver right there. So, has it changed now a little bit after the success of Speed Weeks? Well, are they going to be a fan of yours now instead of a fan of Andy J?
I think I'm number one, but I think he thinks it's funny to see my reaction when he talks about cheering for another driver. But, some of the drivers, not Andy's one of them, they recognize him. They know him now. And he thinks that's the coolest thing when other drivers talk to him, because he can talk to me every day. So it's not often, he gets to talk to these other drivers. And then he conducts his own race on the floor with all his race cars. And he's been saying those names, and actually, to be honest, Andy J is one of the first names he ever said when he was probably, I don't even know if he was 1 going on 2. He started saying, "Hey, is that what he's saying?" And Tommy Catalano was another one, and it sounded like he said Adelano, and we said, "Is that what you're saying?" Yeah, that's what he was saying. He was naming race car drivers, so.
That is pretty awesome. And we're looking at a picture of you, your family, your crew down there in Victory Lane. You see your son right there. Is that your niece to your left? Was your niece down there as well? Was Tony's kid?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, my son's 4 years old, and she's a half year older than him. So this is the first year that she's ever been to Florida and Speed Weeks. So it was overall, it was the best trip we ever had. And that's not because of finishing just with 3 wins. We were able to get some family time in with having not just my son, but my brother's youngest there. It was a trip where nobody got sick, nobody got hurt, because last year we had a crew member with a broken leg.
That's right. Good to see him back there, by the way.
Yeah, 2 years ago we had a stomach bug walk through the whole house that we were sharing with our crew. So every year seems to be something. And this year, not only was it event-free in terms of that stuff, but we were able to finish with 3 wins and got the 2 biggest of the week. So I think it was the best trip we've ever had going to Speed Weeks.
I think, and I may be mistaken, but I think I saw your mom down there, but I didn't see your dad. Was that correct, or did I missee that?
No, that's correct. He had an opportunity to come for a few nights if he wanted to, but he elected not to, and he ended up missing. The nights he could have came for were the ones we won, so he missed out on that.
Matt.
But yeah, my mom was there. She really enjoys Florida because she likes the beach, like the kids, and so they got plenty of beach time. The weather was great. So like I said, factor it all in. It was a great trip.
Matt, you're talking about family, and we've been talking about the racing community here for a little bit this morning, and it seemed like the modifieds really take that in. Really, like the racing community, it's really a family. Everyone's kind of family, and you guys travel so far together. What's the atmosphere kind of like, letting some of these people around the Southeast know what the modified community is kind of like?
Well, it's, they're a dedicated, passionate group, and I think proof of that was during the Daytona 500 yesterday when everybody was pulling for Ryan Preece and social media was kind of blowing up. He had a legitimate shot to win that race in the closing laps, and it was pretty cool to see that. I mean, just a few nights before that, I was competing against him, and I wanted to, beat him, as much as anybody else on the racetrack, but then you're cheering for him a few days later. So, I mean, we're, the modified people are very passionate. I believe on pavement, I think it's the coolest race car on pavement. I mean, there's some other unique cars, the super modified with wings on them, things like that. But, I mean, these cars just have such a cool look to them and sound. And man, when the green flag drops, we battle. So I don't think there's anything better on pavement than us.
If you have a question for Matt Hirschman this morning on the Morning Bullring, make sure you go to either Facebook or Twitter. Ask us there. Use the hashtag Morning Bullring. Brandon Paul, Zach Evans are monitoring that right now. We'll try to get it in before we let Matt Hirschman go. But Matt, Florida is special, and I think it's neat because you talked about the relationships and so forth. And I was a modified guy. Obviously, your dad, was my favorite for a really long time. I remember him when he bought that Maynard Troyer car. Him and Tony Vecchio, I believe, bought that car, and then that was my favorite. The Frenchie's number 6 for a while. It was my favorite race car after Charlie Jerzombeck and so forth. So many people from Long Island, but we've grown up around it. And what was neat for me, and I was picking on Matt because the phrase "wash woman." You talk a lot, right? Well, he was like that with Mike Leedy the other day. They were just sitting there. I think, what were you guys talking for an hour, just sitting there and BSing on pit road?
Yeah, I guess we were catching up just on the whole state of New York and the racetracks there. But yeah, I mean, we don't really talk other than if we see each other at the racetrack. But I guess we were catching up a little bit.
So what was, what's shaken down in the plans? Because we know right now we're awaiting the Race of Champions Modified Series schedule. We know there are some dates scheduled already. We've seen some of the tracks put them out. You're usually a competitor on the Tri-Track Series. Where are we going to see Matt Hirschman this year on the modified circuit?
Well, the next stop will be the Wheel and Tour opener at Myrtle Beach. That's really the home track for PD Motorsports, which is actually based out of South Carolina. So that's our next event. And then the balance of the schedule is going to be, I think, very similar to previous years that we've been doing. We won't really focus on one big series. We'll do the tri-track races. We'll see what the ROC schedule ends up finally being. And we'll definitely attend some of those. We'll do a few more wheeling races throughout the season, and we'll race locally. Mahoning Valley and Evergreen Speedways are the 2 tracks in Pennsylvania that do host tour-type modified events, and I'd like to support those and get some local racing into. So it'll be very similar to what we've been doing, and it's been successful. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of, approach to it.
That's right. Now, Matt, you're talking about cool cars and how cool the modifieds look on track, and I don't think anyone can disagree with how awesome they are, and just hearing the engines when they roar by, and it's a modified.
What did I say? to you. I said, that's a modified sound right there. You
Yeah,
hear that? And you're like, what?
Matt, he got to the racetrack, and the first time you guys fired up, it was like his eyes rolled back. It was like euphoric. He was just all in on it. I talked to Doug Kobe a little bit, and he had a thought of maybe wanting to get into a super late model, maybe wanting to go down to the Snowball Derby at some point. Is there any possibility?
Oh, don't go there. He's going to tell a story.
Any
here.
possibility of us seeing big money Matt Hirschman in a full body stock car at some point?
Well, realistically, probably not. But if there ever was, an event like the Snowball Derby, or if it was ever maybe a really big race that was at a track that I have a lot of modified success on, or something, would be something maybe to try. But the modifieds are my love. Like you were just saying, I think they're just bad ASS is what I think they are, and I'm really proud to be one of probably the most recognizable names in modified racing today, and I'm really only interested in and focused on representing the modifieds and win as many races as I can.
Matt Hirschman should have already competed in a Snowball Derby. We actually tested him back when I had my super late model team, and he did a great job. Had Bond Suss as the crew chief. We all know how successful Bond has been. But Matt tested my car at Hickory, and our plan was, honestly, to run in that race together. I believe that was the same year, correct me if I'm wrong, that Ryan Preece actually ran my car. So we kept it in the modified family. But obviously, Ryan was able to bring a little bit of money, not all of it, but a little bit of money, and we were able to go run that race down there. Both of them, very fine race car drivers, as we saw at New Smyrna Speedway. But Hershey, honestly, he's got the stuff, honestly. His dad was a good race car driver, and we call the Hirschmans the stealth bombers because they'll just lurk. They'll lurk there until they need to throw out that bomb and go on the attack. And that's what makes, his dad, Tony, and then now him very special in the modified ranks. But I think a big question, Matt, and we've heard a lot of different talk about this, is, you talked about your schedule and a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Why is it that schedule? A lot of people talk about how your dad was a 5-time NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour champion, and you've won races on the tour, but you've never gone, you've competed full time, but not on a consistent basis to go after that championship. And I think honestly it deserves an explanation to some degree, and you have that explanation on why you do what you do.
Yeah, when my dad and those guys were loyalists to the Whelen Modified Tour, there really were not many other options. Like there was no such, or ROC was probably, there wasn't much of one. It was maybe just forming, and there wasn't even other series. There was no ROC. There was no Tri-Track. There was no MRS. There wasn't anything else. There were some tracks that ran modified, but of course you wanted to advance to the highest level, and I think that now it's just the landscape is just so much different, where there are other options, and I have done the Whelen Tour before. It's not that I haven't. I've come close to winning the championship. I finished second to Ted Christopher in 2008 and third in 2007. So it's not that I've never done it, but I just haven't done it recently. And like I said, it's no knock on it. I just, I like some variety. I don't like to get committed to one thing, because I would have to give up somewhere else. That's probably the biggest thing, or what people don't understand, is the amount of preparation time, and then factor in the travel, which is from Pennsylvania, and then also South Carolina with the PD team, would significantly increase, and it just makes it that much more difficult. So, what I have done, I see it's almost taking on its own thing. I've seen it on social media, people referring to it as like the Hirschman Racing Schedule series or something,
because it is something that is probably unique to what people are doing. But I'm not going to knock any of the series or anything, because I enjoy participating in all of them. But I also don't want to just lock ourselves in and then miss out on some other things that I'd like to be doing.
We got a lot of people this morning watching the Morning Bullring on Speed 51, live on our Facebook feed as well, presented by Five Star Race Car Bodies. And one of the people, actually, Jeff Neal from Tilton Engineering, showing us his cat is watching this morning. I don't know why. It's so funny. I love watching it. On Lucas Oil Racing TV, we've seen lizards and pigs and you name it. Watch all the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series events. But I want to ask you this, Matt. Are you part of the lore or the legend of Condog? Do you know about that lore?
No, you'd have to fill me in on that one.
So you know Connor Sullivan, right? From Speed
Okay.
51?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, everybody calls him Condog. Now, Priest has been talking about it. Kobe's been talking about it. Of course, he's from New England. You're from Pennsylvania, New York area. But the legend of Condog, he's so passionate about modified style racing. And he actually, on social media, just sent in a question for you. And I'll give you that question. He's talking about the Bullring Bash races, White Mountain and Thunder Road. Could we see Matt Hirschman at those races this year?
As of right now, I'm not certain, but it's probably not likely. And again, it's no knock on what they're doing, but I am committed to all the tri-track races, which take me to the New England area. And again, getting into how many times can we travel that far and get the proper help. So, and I do know that a few of the dates also, I do have other things going on. The first one is on the same weekend as the Race of Champions event at Lake Erie in Pennsylvania. So Lake Erie is definitely one of my top 5 favorite short tracks, and it's one of the races that I will support the ROC. So I don't know that it's going to work out to attend any this year. I'm not ruling it out, but as of right now, it might be wait and see approach and see how that develops, and maybe things will align themselves better in the future to do those.
Speaking of Condog, when you were running I think it was the Blewett race, John Blewett, the third memorial race, I was standing next to him and he keyed the radio and he goes, "This is when Big Money shows his stuff right here." And by golly, you did. You came right through. So what do you think makes you so good at the end of these races? Because you've been able to really put on a show for the fans and for us. It's been fun to watch at the end of these longer races, especially.
Yeah, I mean, it might just play to my strengths, I guess. My father obviously is the biggest influence on my career, and he was a very smart, or maybe one of the smartest, smoothest racers ever. And I always looked up to him. Also, I thought Mike Stefanik was another one where, those guys could win races and the big races, but they also always could keep the big picture in mind, and they'd also win the championships. And, not knocking TC or like the Reg, those guys were incredible chargers and racers, and won an incredible amount of races. But I just always kind of molded myself more towards the style of my father and Stefanik and guys like that. And I think longer races and tire management are probably play to my strengths.
Matt, the one thing I love about talking to you is you have that that appetite for modifieds, but also to not forget the history, and we appreciate that out of you. And I'm sure your dad would not let you forget it either. But it's always nice talking to you. It was great talking to you down at New Smyrna. I don't know how many times we're going to get to talk this year, other than maybe on the Morning Bullring. But it was always good seeing you and your family.
No, I appreciate that. It was an honor to win both the memorial races this year, the John Blewett memorial race, and then the big one at the end of the week. And actually, my suggestion is because I know they're they've tied TC into, I believe, the Friday night race. At least it's mentioned as that. I think they should have a third special night in memory of TC, and then we'd have three special nights there, maybe like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, in memory of those three drivers. That was a suggestion I passed along or whatever, because that it's just extra special to to win races with the name and the memory of those guys. So I've been fortunate now to win multiple times the Blue Up Memorial and the Evans Memorial. And when you go to Speed Weeks, those are the marquee events. So it was a great week. And again, I appreciate it, everything you guys have done, and the leading up to Speed Weeks, and now wrapping it up.
I think that's a great idea. I owe $1 because I didn't unmute myself here.
Got him.
Put $1 into the pool. But I think that's a great idea. Why not start off with a TC Tribute race, maybe the TC Tribute 50 on Monday. It's 50 lapper anyway, so that would be a great race, especially with Teddy's style, of going right for it. So I think that would be a cool idea. I love that idea. We're maybe even going to do a little story on that, or poll or something on social media, because I love the idea. But before I let you go, we just did have a question come in, Matt, from Steve Korlacki, and he wants to know if you think the Wheel and Modified Tour should go to Florida and race at New Smyrna Speedway.
I mean, I think we'd have a better car count than the K&N had, and the modifieds put on a heck of a show in New Smyrna. There's just something about that racetrack and modifieds. I think it's just a perfect combination. So I think it would be a great event if they ever did it. I don't know what effect it would have on then. How would they do it? Would it be prior to the rest of like our races at Speed Weeks? I don't know where or how that would fall in or tie in. But if they had it, I know that we would support it. And like I said, I think we'd give a better show and probably have a stronger field. But if they keep it the way it is, I hope that we can support it like we have in previous years, regardless.
Hershey, we appreciate you coming on the morning Bullring here, and we wish you the best of luck this year.
Thanks, guys.
You got it. Matt Hirschman on the PFC Brakes Performance Hotline. And I love that because, listen.
Hot takes.
Yes. Hirschman was talking about the K&N cars. What do they have, 19 cars there?
Yeah, man.
It just wasn't a good car count.
That was probably the least amount of cars I've had since I've been going. And they started on the backstretch of Daytona when I started going down there.
Yeah, the Battle of the Beach, back in the day. But, the modifieds were good at the Battle of the Beach, too. Listen, modified people will support their traditions. And I think that's the big thing. And right now, there is no tradition, really, with the K&N East Series or the K&N West Series. And that's part of an issue with, trying to make a big race. There are no traditions. And the modified people, even super late model people, they are about traditions. But I do believe it would be a heck of a show. When the Battle at the Beach stopped, a lot of us were pushing for that Wheel and Modified Tour show to come over to New Smyrna Speedway. And I know New Smyrna has been very important for you over the years, Mark. That would be a heck of a show.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, everybody can kind of dream. And even when I was working there, I kept telling them, I said, when they had the Southern Tour also, I said, man, how cool would it be if the Richie Evans race was a north and south dual point show to start off the year, and it would be the best of everything.
Honestly, though.
Yeah. And it's funny because, and I can tell you, just it was talked about possibly doing a Southern Modified Tour race, and I think back then it just came down to the purse structure of each. How much would it cost for K&N? How much would it cost for a Southern Tour versus the main tour?
Have them on separate nights, probably.
Well, the funny thing is, myself and Kim Brown, we looked at, this was the second year of the Battle at the Beach, and we looked at the previous year. And out of all the modifieds that went down there and ran Daytona, there were like 7 of them that were Southern Modified Tour guys. So it was like, how can you justify having a Southern Modified Tour race when here they are at Daytona and only 7 of, I think it was 22 cars, and 7 of them were considered the South Tour cars.
That's been the problem for so long. They'll support Bowman Gray, Renee Hackett. Kudos to her and Darren. They have the Southern Modified Racing Series. But heck, they're not even supporting that to some degree because she's fighting to keep modified racing alive in the South, and she doesn't have great car counts, so they don't support themselves. It's their own fault.
It's tough, man. And you talk about tradition. Well, I mean, we got this Richie Evans car right sitting here. Like, look at that. Look at that. You know what I mean? Like that's all you need to know about tradition.
That's Big Orange, baby.
That thing was at the New Smyrna Speedway this week. You know, so. And it's disappointing for me because I grew up Bush North guy. Like there was a
Dick McCabe,
all three of us.
You know, Robbie Crouch.
Yeah. Kip Stockwell was out of my
Kip
backyard.
Stockwell, baby.
Kippy. He was out of my backyard.
Dave Dion, Dynamite Dave.
Brad Layton.
Yeah, Brad Layton.
Ryan Moore.
Ryan Moore, Tracy
Kelly
Moore.
Yeah,
Kelly Moore.
Sorry,
yeah.
Kelly Moore.
Tic Tac Pontiac.
What about Jamie Obie? Was
Jamie
it Obie?
Obie.
Yep.
Buckshot Jones.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like, dude, it stinks.
You forgot about the best, honestly. Andy Santerre.
Santerre.
Well, I would argue
Andy
Craven was the best up in the north.
He wasn't up there long enough.
And
he
Andy,
won
I
11 out of
apologize.
21 races.
Nah, I don't care.
Year.
Andy Santerre, when you talk about the Busch North Series, he was the man.
It was 4 in a row, right?
I think so,
I think
yes.
And
Stefanik was pretty good on that, too.
He was, yes. Mike McLaughlin.
Well, yep. Everybody.
That was when listen, we can all talk about how the K&N East is good or bad right now, but we know the heydays were back then. That was the Busch North circuit.
Oh my goodness!
Now it's more about breeding young racers and who can bring money to the table to buy a ride in that series. And listen, that's the way the game is played right now. That's fine, no big deal.
Right.
But back then it wasn't like that.
They have gone down to as little as 10 races in the K&N East Series before. When it was Busch North, I'm pretty sure it was like 20. Like, and you could take that car and go run Busch Grand National with it. You could run Xfinity.
The Winston West was the same way.
Think about that for a minute.
Yeah.
You could run your Busch North car that you built, your K&N car that you built,
And the
and
Busch
could go
Series.
run in the Busch, and you could go run it in the Xfinity Series.
And the Winston West Series was you could bring it to the Cup Series.
Right.
So Herschel McGriff and everybody, would do that when we went out west.
Man, it stinks to see that we're so far beyond that. It's just tough.
But I think part of that problem is that's back when the Busch Grand National, which I still refer to them as, they were running places like Hickory and short tracks.
I was there for the last Busch Series race ever held at Hickory. It doesn't make me old, okay, because that was like 1998, 99 or whatever.
Now, there's other things that make you old.
Yeah. Hey, you're right there with me, brother.
I'll never be as old as you, though. But I think the biggest thing is even with super late model racing, Stephen Nasse last year referred to himself as, hey, I'm a lifer.
Yeah.
He knows he's not going cup racing. And you have Bubba Pollards and you have the David Rogers and you have those guys, that's what breeds the tradition. Yeah. Modifieds is the same way. Right. Is Hirschman going to go cup racing? I'm sure if somebody knocked on his door, he'd probably give it, take a swing at it maybe. But you have the lifers, you have the people and heck, the Ripkemas, the Kobe's, the Emmerlings. So like you were saying, Bob, the tradition is there. What names do you have in K&N that
nothing.
From you.
Bill McAnally.
Yeah, well,
he's the owner.
He's the owner.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's the problem.
I was up there on the spotter stand for a while, and I'm talking to Mike Herman and talking to the McGowan and so forth, and Freddie Kraft, and I'm like, every caution I was going, hey, who's in that car? Hey, who's in that car? Oh, it's B-Mac in the 74. Oh, cool. Somebody I know. You know what I mean? So, a lot of these kids, I know them once they tell me who they are, but the cars are not traditional, and different people are flowing through those cars each and every year. Derek Kraus, congratulations to him on the big win in the K&N Pro Series, the debut at New Smyrna. But, getting back to that modified versus, the Busch North or the K&N East, whatever you want to talk about it. Even that back in the day, this shows you how much I was a modified homer back in the day. My dad and mom and I would travel up to Stafford Motor Speedway on a Friday night. And if it wasn't us traveling up, I would go with George Brunholzel and go with him, the general.
Georgie.
Yep, not Georgie,
George
Jr., yes. Remember, Georgie is a third-generation race car driver.
That.
So I used to go up there with them, and any time the Busch North circuit would come to Stafford Motor Speedway, my dad and I would be like, oh, the dang taxi cabs are here again. Because we were modified people. And that's what made modified people special. Yes, they can complain a lot. They can whine a lot. They can curse a lot. I hang around with my modified people. I come home. My wife goes, "Why are you cursing so much?" I go, "I was hanging out with Freddie Kraft." Okay,
Freddie Kraft.
but that's special, and there's something special about being a modified person. They have the passion, the pride of their game, and that's what I love. And we'll leave this conversation there because we still got to get to Nick Hoffman. We probably made him wait long enough after not getting a hold of him earlier because he's a dirt racer and he was sleeping. So coming up, we're going to have Nick Hoffman. He's a heck of a shoe. Back to modified racing, and he was pretty good at Volusia. We'll be right back on the Morning Bullring.
The Alabama 200 is underway from Montgomery.
Buckle up, y'all. The Pro Late models return to action. March 1st and 2nd, Montgomery Motor Speedway hosts the 55th Alabama 200. Pro Late models. We've got thrills for all age groups. Montgomery Motor Speedway.
3-car spin over in turn number 4. Now it's 4 cars. Front of the field, the track is blocked.
Non-stop entertainment. 55th Alabama 200, March 1st and 2nd. Don't miss it.
Hey race fans, download the new Speed51.com app today. Breaking news, feature stories, the Unfiltered podcast, live race coverage, schedules, and more right at your fingertips. Download it today on iTunes and the Google Play Store.
Speed 51's video network, where the battles are legendary. Get the full picture on short track racing. We'll take you behind the scenes.
He's just a meathead. He's always the same way.
Your track, your driver, your sport, your passion. Dirt, late models, modifieds, and more. Race highlights, recaps, interviews, and thousands of on-demand videos. Speed 51 Network, short track racers' home for the best video coverage.
Bring us back from break, Mama. Come on.
What is going on, everybody? What time is it? Is it 10
That
yet?
sounds like your Bronson report.
Yeah.
What's up, Dylan Smith, Bronson Speedway?
Listen. So, a little bit of backstory on the Bronson report. Okay, by the way, it was my first time.
You can talk about Condog?
Condog. I gotta get
hashtag Condog.
Hashtag Condog.
Come here.
Hang on.
Real quick.
We got to get this trending.
Yep. We got to get this.
This is the man that's gonna start it.
Okay, come in the center here, and give it to us. Hold on.
Condog. Hashtag Condog, Connor Sullivan. So it was me and Connor at Bronson Speedway. I've never been to this place. Last minute deal. I wasn't even supposed to go.
No, you weren't.
Oh, Bob's like,
you had a car.
Yeah, Bob's like, hey, will you go do this?
I didn't. Mark it.
Oh, Mark did. And I'm like, yeah, sure. You know what I mean? I need the experience. It's just me and Connor. No big deal.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, man, you ever done this before? I'm like, no. He's like, okay, here we go.
That's a reassuring deal there.
I'm like, what are we doing? He's like, we're going to do a walkthrough. So I got the mic up like this.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, at least let me. I didn't know anything what I was doing. I was like, I don't even know these guys. He's like, oh, let's talk to him. I'm like, what's his name? It's da-da-da-da. I'm like, all right, well, let's go.
Andy Jankowiak.
Yeah, I'm still not trying. Andy J, I messed you up the first week. I'm going to stick with Andy J. He had a nice picture, though, under a nice willow tree or whatever it was.
But
cool.
I didn't see that. But
awesome.
I do want to say Andy Seiss, actually NASCAR Woodland Southern Modified Tour
Andy
champion, chiming in, saying he 100% agrees with the comments that we made. Why would you follow a series that the drivers are all different in 2 years? Why would you buy their shirt if you didn't know they'd be back?
Right.
And that is the truth.
Yeah.
I tell you what, Andy is a smart racer. Had a great run at Daytona, by the way, in the ARCA race. Nice to see him have a top 10 finish. Remember,
Absolutely.
he finished second at Talladega Superspeedway a couple years ago.
Your brother helps him out quite a bit.
Yeah, he's a good buddies with him.
Yep.
Matt is like the social guy. Okay, so Matt's friends with. I knocked down my coat.
Clear.
But Matt's friends with everybody. I like people. I do, but I get so focused. People go, Bob, look happy, and I'm like, I am happy. All right. I'm a modified guy.
Before we move on, staying on the modified thing for a minute, the TC thing.
Yeah.
A special race
I
for
love
him.
it.
I love it. Maybe a dash. Maybe like a money dash.
No, I like the 50
You
lapper.
like the 50 lap?
I do.
Okay. Well,
They got to make it a 3-tap race in order to pass somebody. You got to give them 3 taps.
The 3
So
tap.
every pass has to be 3
Yes.
taps.
So he had the
That's
3 tap
dangerous.
rule. Once to let you know I'm there. If I hit you again, that second tap, you better pick a lane. And if you get to the third tap, he's going to pick one for you. That's what I loved about Teddy Christopher.
man, TC.
Miss him.
Miss him.
And he never apologized for it. And he wouldn't, and he shouldn't.
No, absolutely not.
Brennan Ernest from Ernest Performance.
Yeah.
He told me the first time I went down to New Smyrna, he's like, you see that line right there? I'm like, yeah, that's where that's where everyone's lifting. He's like, see down there? I said, yeah. He's like, that's where Teddy's cape comes out, and he keeps driving on past it.
So what did you think? I know Brandon has texted me and you. He wants to come on the morning Bullring.
He wants on.
He's so quiet, though, to some degree. Will we get the quiet Brandon, or would we get the loud, boisterous one?
I think we'll get it on certain questions if you get him going.
Okay.
On the serious questions, he'll probably be very technical on his thoughts because he's a thinker.
He is a thinker.
But he's hilarious. And you give him a good question, Brandon, I hope you're listening.
See, it's too early in the morning to give him a drink or two,
Yeah. We can give him an Irish coffee.
There you go.
Get his coffee in there. He'll be fine.
Yeah, absolutely. A little caffeine, a little bit of something else.
He'll be all right.
He'll be good.
Bailey's.
Yeah, he'll be good to go. All right. Do we have Hoffman on the PFC Brakes Performance Hotline? Nick Hoffman, the big Gator winner once again there at Volusia. Hoffman, what's the deal? I was texting you left and right last night and this morning. You didn't never respond until too late.
Yeah. Us dirt racers are on a kind of different time schedule, but especially me, I kind of stay up late and then wake up late, so I struggle with the morning thing.
Do you have coffee to get you going, or what's it like? What do you need to get going in the morning?
Well, mainly, if I switch to anything like that, it'd be Red Bull. I'm not really a coffee drinker, but yeah, just trying to recover a little bit this weekend. Obviously, was able to kind of sit back and watch the 500 yesterday, and then Speed Weeks kind of runs you out of energy, kind of as you could say.
You're telling me, hey, settle something before we go into some serious conversation here. Mamba and I are talking about on the morning Bullring, Bojangles or Chick-fil-A. That's the battle this morning. What side of the fence are you on?
Oh, I'm Bojangles.
Oh, look at my people know soul food. Tell them, Nick. Tell them you got to get that good Cajun in you.
Yeah, Chick-fil-A is good, but after I go 2 weeks down in Florida, I come home and that's like the first thing I gotta go eat.
Gotcha. That's what I did this morning.
They got good spicy fries.
The seasoned fries are delicious.
Yeah, they are good. I will give you that. The rest of the stuff is good too. I just prefer Chick-fil-A a little bit.
Listen, you can prefer whatever you want, but it's wrong.
Okay, whatever. I think you're only one up.
Yeah, I got.
And we don't have any more.
2-1.
Yeah, we don't have any more guests.
We can make a phone call to somebody.
We could. Maybe Condog. Anyway, let's get back to racing a little bit. Or ask you this: was the racing more fun at Volusia? The parties afterwards?
Really, we don't run too hard at Volusia now. Like Chili Bowl a month ago, stuff like that, it's a little different story. But, Volusia just kind of focusing on racing every day. Only had one rain out. So, the rainouts are normally what hurt you. Just kind of every day you kind of focus on racing. Now, the vacation racing, Chili Bowl, stuff like that, that's what what'll run you pretty hard.
Yeah, you and your sister, and I didn't see you down at the Chili Bowl, but I saw your sister and your brother-in-law there. They looked like they had bloodshot eyes a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I don't think, I was there all week too, and I don't think I made it to bed before 6:30 in the morning. So
you got to call me next time and let me know where you're at.
Yeah, pretty much everybody's over at Lenny's.
Yeah.
And it gets pretty rowdy.
Dead for it.
Hey, Nick, we got your Twitter up right now, and I'm looking at this blue car. Is this a new look for you? Is this a new scheme? Or is this what you normally run?
It looks similar, right, Nick?
Yeah. all my mod stuff's pretty much hasn't changed for a couple of years. My late model stuff kind of went back and forth with some different stuff, different designs and everything. But pretty much the blue and orange has been my look for quite a while.
I mean, it looks great. It looks fast. It looks racy. I like it.
So I want to know, what do you think? You got the win down there. A little disappointed, my boy. Just that one win. But anyway, you got the big gator. The hoist the golden gator again. What do you think? What's that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, don't worry, I'm pretty disappointed too. Yeah, just struggled really with speed all week. We were okay, not near as dominant as every other year or the last couple of years. Just kind of frustrated. Can't really put my finger on one thing why we weren't as fast, but also there's more cars than we've ever had down there. Obviously the competition is really strong. I felt like the two best cars all week were probably Strickler and Strimmy, and they kept taking each other out.
Yeah, they love each other, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you race around them, what is it like? What are you thinking to yourself if you're behind them?
The deal down the front stretch when Strickler hung a left and then they both wrecked into one, that was kind of slow motion for me because I was running third at that time. And, Kyle hung a left to try and block him into one, I guess, but Strimmy was already pretty much all the way alongside him, so he ended up wiping them both out. And that was like slow motion. I kind of seen that whole deal happening, before it even started happening. Coming off of 4, I seen Strimmy get a run, and then I knew Strickler, was going to try and shut the door. And he shut it a little too late, I think. But yeah, you got to kind of expect it. I think a lot of people would see it coming, but, it just kind of sucks because obviously Michael Long gets caught up in that deal, and he's got one of the fastest cars all week too, and ends up going home early with a, tore up race car. So just kind of sucks. But yeah, their stuff was, they kind of gave that championship to me, I felt like, because them two were probably the best two cars. And, without those two issues they had the first two nights, then I might not have won that championship.
Nick, what's 2019 looking like for you? Like, where are you headed next from here?
I'm going to run some late model shows for a new team. So I got some late model stuff lined up here. We're going to start here in a couple weeks, back down in Florida for the crate race. And then going to run, the Dream, the World, stuff like that, the big shows, the Crown Jewels and the late model. And then my mod stuff, probably do the Hell Tour, quite a bit of the Summer Nationals deal. And then, probably run between the mod, late model, and even my go-kart race and outlaw kart stuff, I'll run close to 80 shows this year.
That's pretty cool. And I know it's interesting to hear you talk about the late model stuff because I was going to say, are you just going back to the modified? Because I know the team that you were running for kind of disbanded. So what's going on in terms of the dirt late model racing? Because I'm always an advocate if anybody has a dirt late model ride and needs a good shoe, Nick Hoffman would be the man, the first person I would call that doesn't have a ride right now. He'd be the guy that I'd put in the seat because you can. Honestly, I'm not kissing your butt here, but you can wheel a race car. So what is going on? Because you mentioned that you have some rides on the dirt late model circuit.
Yeah, I got these new guys out of Kentucky there that got a brand new rocket car, going to do some racing. They want to do just kind of a part-time schedule and hit the big shows. So, which will work good for me right now too, with my business being busy and everything too. So, yeah, I obviously as a race car driver, I want to be racing late models. That's where you kind of make a name for yourself and everything. So, I'm going to do as many late model shows as I can. I'd really like to do a full-time deal one of these years. Just, got to get with the right people to do it. That late model deal is tough. If you're only running a part-time schedule, it's really hard to keep up with them guys that are on the road, running 80 to 100 shows a year. So I really enjoyed it last year. I got to run pretty well there at the end of the year, run well at the north south and everything. So really just looking forward to going back and try and do that again.
Coming off of speed weeks, a lot of the asphalt guys, they don't race like this. They don't do 9 in 9 days, or it's usually like 2 at the most, or maybe 3 for some of them. you're kind of used to this. What's your favorite part about going to Speed Weeks? It's a little bit of a different feel that everyone's kind of excited. What's your favorite part about it?
Yeah. So Speed Weeks is kind of easy for us just because you're at the same racetrack every day. Most of these deals we're racing one night and traveling to the next racetrack to race the next day. So Speed Weeks is nice when you're at Volusia for 6 straight days, and then we run North Florida for 4 days. It makes it easier on you. I feel like the modified deal is pretty easy as far as maintenance and doing all the work of getting the car ready and stuff like that. You can pretty much do it with 2 guys. So that makes it, way more laid back than I would say. I've done some asphalt racing and that type of stuff. I mean, it's just more of a laid back deal. And then just, we're not really racing for a whole lot of money down there, but just string those nights together when you're at least racing for $1,000 each night, and then you can run competitively. You can at least break even throughout the week, that's nice.
Hoffman, I want to talk to you about something we talk a lot about in pavement racing. On the other side of the spectrum, the lack of cars, honestly, that show up to a lot of these events. Well, then I look over at Volusia and I see 96 dirt car UMP modifieds. What is the deal? Why? I love dirt racing. I've been doing that now for about 8 years or so, and I just, I'm fascinated by it. I've really become a student of the game, just soak up everything all the time. But that's an unreal car count because, like you said, there's not a lot of money on the line. So what is it? 96 cars is amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, and that's common for a lot of the races we go to. Obviously, Eldora quit doing the nationals, but we would do the nationals at the end of the year and get 100 cars there, no problem. But 95 cars in Florida, that's normally, and even going into this year, we always like, well, how many cars do you think we'll have? And always throw out right around the 70 mark, 70, 75, something like that is pretty common. But this year, I've never seen the Gator Pond that full of race cars and haulers and stuff. It's pretty wild. Just the biggest thing with the modified deal is it's pretty affordable racing. I went down there, I bought 25 tires to go do that deal, and I still got a couple tires left over. So you figure you got $3,000 in tires, and then your fuel to get there and back and pit passes and stuff. And your wear and tear ain't too bad, especially with the way the racetrack was this year. It was pretty nice. So just, it's pretty affordable to do it. And most people, that's kind of on their bucket list to do. I know a lot of people that went down there this year that's never been there before just because it was something that they wanted to do. So just the car counts are up, and I think people are spending money, right now. The money's flowing pretty well right now. So, people are buying race cars and they're going racing. So it's good right now.
Hey, let me ask you this. Okay, because Mamba is here. I know I owe another $1 for not unmuting myself here.
$2.
Absolutely. So you can take the one back. No, but in terms of what we saw, Dylan Smith here is a pavement racer, okay? So I want to ask you, how many practice laps did you get each night?
We get we don't get a practice lap,
exactly.
Actually. It's qualifying.
Bingo.
Yeah. So the first night of Volusia, you get 2 laps. They'll go ahead and give you 2 laps, whatever, whatever that's worth. And then you got to go straight to qualifying. But every other night, you go straight into qualifying and say, you can't mess around when you roll out there.
Listen, when you said 25 tires and $3,000, I'm looking at Bob. I'm like, 25 tires? $3,000? What? Because on the asphalt side of stuff,
you get 25 tires for one night.
25 tires. I don't even want to think about how much money that is, because $3,000 is only like
$700 a set is what Bubba Pollard told me at New Smyrna.
So 4 sets. You get 4 sets, and you're at $3,000. That is 4 sets, people. That is 16 tires. That is not close to 25. So that's pretty cool. And I would love to see asphalt racing kind of shift a little bit more towards how you guys do it with, either hot laps or smaller practices or just cost effective.
The teams at New Smyrna, I was told, average, you race 8 nights down there for any particular division that runs the entire thing.
Yep.
You were talking about basically it averages out with the practice data that they have there 2 sets per night. So you're talking about 16 sets of tires.
It's just
sets.
It's out of control.
He was talking about 25 tires total.
Yeah.
And he still got left over.
Asphalt people do not bring tires back to the racetrack.
Yeah,
back
no,
home. They do
definitely
do
not.
Yeah, see, like our deal, I put on 2 tires a night, and not because I need to. Like, I probably still got, 8 or 10 tires that still got nipples on them that I could go run again anywhere in the country, but you're there to win, so you put on 2 tires just to put on 2 tires, you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Just rears. So that's why, it's a pretty neat deal. Just the racetrack really didn't hurt tires this year. And so, yeah, I put on, you're buying tires at basically $120 to $130 a piece. And, they'll last you a night or two. No problem.
Hey, last but not least, are you going to the Appalachian Indoor Showdown this week in Wytheville, Virginia?
I don't think I am.
And your
Jeremy,
sister's going to be mad.
Yeah, I was texting Jeremy yesterday. So I'm working on this late model deal, and I'm actually going up to that late model shop this weekend. I actually gotta go to my old late model shop first, pick up my seats and everything there, and then go to the other late model shop and get that thing ready. So I think I'm gonna have to skip out on that deal. I know Harold over at Phantom Racing Chassis wanted me to run that thing this weekend. I just don't think I'm gonna be able to make that happen.
Well, guess what? You can still watch it live on speed51.com, pay-per-view style broadcast. So check in with that. At least you can follow it.
Yeah, we'll definitely be tuning in. I think the demo derby they had last week went pretty well. So the racetrack looks pretty good. Jeremy's already kind of ahead of the schedule, I think.
Very cool. Nick Hoffman, we appreciate you coming on the Morning Bullring. Congratulations.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
You got it.
Team Bojangles. Appreciate you.
Yeah. Well, actually, I got an update there, by the way, as we let Nick Hoffman go get showered up and stuff, being that we got him right out of bed this morning. But Derek Griffith, my boy from New Hampshire, just chimed in, said, Chick-fil-A all the way, baby.
He's from New Hampshire.
Chick-fil-A all the way.
He's never had Bojangles.
Yeah, he don't count.
I don't know. Maybe he'll text me back and say, I've had Bojangles, and I think Chick-fil-A is better.
Well, Derek, I know you're listening, so text him back and tell him that you've never had it, so you have nothing to compare to.
So here's the deal. We have a little result because Brandon Paul and Zach Evans, they're on top of it.
I know.
They put up a poll.
There's a poll.
And right now, about bringing the modifieds down to New Smyrna, would that be a good idea to start the Wheel and Modified Tour season during the Florida Speed Weeks at the World Series? And right now, 85% of the vote is yes. I would say that's a unanimous, basically.
It sounds like we should do it.
I think so.
There's no question. Everyone wants to do it.
Yeah. Tom, did you sigh?
Yeah. What was that?
Tom doesn't sound happy with that.
No. I'm with the poll.
Okay.
But I'm also with Bojangles.
Oh, look.
Oh.
Where's my man? Where you at?
Tom's also a Steelers fan, so his vote doesn't count.
We got another
What about
Bojangles
me?
out there.
My son is Bojangles, too.
I'm KFC.
KFC?
But you texted us Popeyes.
What's that?
You texted. Who are you? You texted
Well, no,
us
it depends on what I'm
Popeyes.
going for. Okay, so like a shrimp po' boy, it's Popeyes because
no one else has shrimp at a chicken place.
If it's coleslaw, it's got to be KFC because they got the best coleslaw in the business. If it's original recipe just for straight fried chicken, it's KFC. If I want something spicy, it's Popeyes.
Okay.
Or
Well,
not Popeyes, sorry, Bojangles.
Here's the deal. You got a little work to do. We're going to bring Brandon Paul back on the hotline here because apparently this is starting to take off on social.
Yeah.
Popeyes, not Popeyes, sorry, Bojangles or Chick-fil-A. That's the question. And there's some interaction on Twitter and Facebook about this. So we're going to get Brandon Paul, the editor of Speed51.com. He's got the official results. He's gone through and tabulated the votes so we can settle this once and for all. And if I lose, I'll just walk away. Go, okay, that's fine. And by the way, remember, we're calling live on the line here. Brandon Paul, are you with us, buddy?
I'm with you.
Okay.
No,
so
are you with me
or are you against me? What's your vote?
No, my favorite, I have to go Chick-fil-A.
Yes!
I'm not surprised.
We're big Chick-fil-A fans. Unfortunately, we only have one in the state of Maine, which is way up in Bangor. But no, I'm Team Chick-fil-A.
I want to let you guys in on a secret. Like, Bojangles is so special that it's only in the Southeast. We don't. It doesn't leave this area.
Listen, that's their problem. Okay, and listen,
delicacy.
Griffith just chimed down. He said, "I've had Bojangles before." He said 3 thumbs down. He said Chick-fil-A has the best lemonade too, and that's part of the sell for him.
Yeah, but it's sweet tea isn't as good.
They don't have the cheddar bow though.
They don't have the cheddar bow. They don't have a bowberry biscuit. They don't have the nice dirty rice. You guys seen those commercials with Dale Jr.? No, I got the dirty
Here's
rice.
what we're going to recommend. We're going to recommend that Chick-fil-A and or Bojangles, okay, whomever wants to bring
I like
us free
this.
breakfast
I like
here on the
this.
Morning Bullring, Mark Keeler, Tom Ryan, myself, you, Kendra, whoever else is here, Zach Evans is going to be here. We're going to settle it. Bring us both, and we'll do the taste test here online. Live.
I'm in on
Not
that.
even taped.
We're doing it live.
Yep,
I'm
absolutely.
in on
So if you're watching, and if you know somebody that's part of management or even somebody that works there, get with them. Tell them Mama and Dillner want to do a taste test live on the Morning Bullring.
Listen, Lenny Batigi, I know you know that. I know you know someone over there. Let's go, buddy.
I want a bowberry biscuit, baby.
He's never had one.
I've never had
What
one.
is a bowberry biscuit?
It's a biscuit with.
I figured that.
With blueberry. Well, you're gonna figure this one. No, hold on, hold the phone. With blueberries in it.
Really?
I know I just blew your mind, Mark.
Yeah.
Uncle Mark.
I will say that the bacon, egg, and cheese biscuit at Bojangles is
Never had it.
other
Never had
than the Frisco breakfast sandwich at Hardee's. That
How
bacon,
much
egg, and
fast
cheese
food
biscuit.
do you get?
Ask him how many Red Bulls he had yesterday.
No, I've switched to Monster. I got a case of Monster courtesy of the Deegan clan.
Yeah, we saw that in the team
So,
picture. Energy drink in the team picture.
That's what happens when you get me down to the beach
Oh, my
at
gosh.
9 o'clock in the morning.
Brandon,
9:30.
9:30. That was your fault. You had to go to the doctor to make sure that you weren't going to die from all the energy drink. Anyway, Brandon, what are the results? What are the tabulations on? We've already talked about the poll, but what about Bojangles versus Chick-fil-A? Because this is important stuff right here.
Yeah, this is a hot debate, and that's why I labeled it on Twitter. So far, the votes are coming in at a pretty quick pace. Just in like 10 minutes, we have almost 80 votes now. With 79 votes right now, 72% say Chick-fil-A.
Okay, but you can't.
You need to refresh it, I'm told, because it's even more now. We're going to put it
Oh,
online.
we're gonna put it on the monitor.
Hang
Look at
on,
this.
I gotta get it in.
Tom
here.
was very adamant about this too.
I will say, at least you can get Bojangles on a Sunday though.
Come on.
Okay, Chick-fil-A. Oh, hey, Chick-fil-A respects the Christian community. And we all need to rest. And sometimes we
So
all
you don't
need
eat
to
food on Sundays?
I do, but hey, you got to respect them for respecting the faith.
Or maybe it's that God wants you to enjoy some good
Bojangles.
chicken.
Yeah, he gives you a day off from
He gives
Chick-fil-A.
you a day off from Chick-fil-A.
Here's the deal. I'm going to go to Bojangles on Sunday. How about that?
Yeah, you can't go to Chick-fil-A, so
There
of
you go.
course.
Oh, my. Brandon, the show has gone to the chicken.
It's out in the coop. It's out in the coop.
It's jumped the chicken.
Yeah, it's flowed the coop, baby. Flowed the coop. So, Brandon, do you have anything more to add to this?
Yep.
The updated numbers, like I said, the votes are coming in as we continue to talk about it more and more. It is now with nearly 100 votes. Chick-fil-A at 70%, Bojangles at 30%. So if you're watching on Facebook or watching on Speed 51, head on over to our Twitter page presented by PFC Brakes at Speed 51 DOT.com, speed51.com, and place your vote.
And what we're going to do is that we're really going to make sure that we push this a bunch, because not only do we want free breakfast here from Bojangles and or Chick-fil-A, we want to do a taste test live here on the air. But if one of them steps up, and they're both great companies, but if one of them steps up, maybe we'll even offer some coupons to coupons to some people.
Yeah.
And
I like it.
Maybe help our audience as well.
You know,
Step up, Bojangles, Chick-fil-A. We're calling you out.
You could be right here somewhere.
That's right.
Maybe. I
They
mean,
could.
I think up top or on the
Yep,
bottom.
it's a free show.
Free show.
We have commercials.
We have commercials.
that's
We run
true.
commercials. I drive
Nobody
a
likes
race
the
car.
commercials, but
I would love to put Bojangles or Chick-fil-A on a race car.
There you go.
Cool.
I'll put a
Will you
challenge
put my
out.
face on there?
I will.
There you go.
I put Bubba's face on there.
There
Bubba
you
Walls'
go.
face on there.
I know.
For Snowflake.
I saw
That's
that.
funny.
It was awesome.
I'll
I got a new
buy you
picture
a
already.
set of tires if you put my face on
Bam!
the hood.
I got one set of
There
tires
you go.
for Snowflake already. Bob Dylan's
Wow.
face.
Angie's not listening, hopefully.
No, I'm going to put a challenge out to the ones that hate the commercials that we have. If you actually become a sponsor, then you get your own commercial in there, and that can maybe wipe out one of the other ones.
Yeah, we got space.
Marketing at speed51.com.
I'll even wear your gear back here.
So Brandon, by the way, what do we got coming up this week? We got Dillon Motor Speedway with the Pro All-Star Series. That's going to be a good show down there. The first past national super late model race of the year with the Appalachian Indoor Showdown with Virginia. Get your butts up there. You want to see a lot of racing. They got a ton of racing between all the different divisions of outlaw carts as well as the carts as well. Brand new facility. Jeremy and Ashley Burnett, promoters of Millbridge Speedway, are putting that on. So you need to get out there. Is there any other racing going on, or is everybody else in hangover mode before we really get started with the season with the Alabama 200 the following week at Montgomery Motor Speedway?
No, there's some other racing. Just looking through our schedule, Saturday at Lincoln Speedway in Pennsylvania, 410 Sprints will be competing in the Icebreaker 31. You also have World of Outlaws Sprint Cars at Lone Star Speedway in Texas on Saturday, Figure Eights and Super Late Models at Showtime Speedway in Florida. And then, of course, up here in Maine, it's not actually racing, but you have the Racing Preview Motorsports Show at the Portland Expo in Portland, Maine. Go out and see some race cars that will be competing up here in the Northeast in 2019.
Hey, I'm looking forward to, honestly, in a couple of weeks, we'll be going to the place your mama warned you about, Cherokee Speedway, March Madness. That's going to be a blast. Southern All-Stars kicking things off with a big money race there for the dirt late models on the orange clay, red clay, whatever you want to call it, at Cherokee Speedway in Gaffney, South Carolina. It's a multi-day event. You're going to have the Seika cars there, the crate late models, and a lot more. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Cherokee Speedway, that's just about an hour south of where we're at here by the Charlotte Motor Speedway, where we're located about a mile and a half from the Charlotte Motor Speedway, maybe less, honestly. I've never done the equation, so to speak. I'll have to get on the odometer and check it out.
I know we can
sometime.
see it from here.
Yes, we can see it from here.
And we can hear it.
We can hear it, especially
not
when,
as loud as the dirt track.
Yeah,
but
especially when the crazy Metal Madness or whatever the heck they call it comes in. You hear Marilyn Manson in the background.
Oh, Carolina Rebellion.
Carolina Rebellion, which is not coming here anymore, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, some big news for sure.
You were supposed to take us last year.
Yes, I think it's going to Rockingham.
They're not coming back?
No, I think they're going to Rockingham. I think they're going over to Rockingham, and Tom says yes.
Why?
I don't know. That's for them. I'm not involved in that. Anyway, Brandon, we appreciate you for being on, and I appreciate that Chick-fil-A vote, buddy.
No. Oh, yeah, you did good.
No problem.
I'm flabbergasted.
Yeah, look, you're getting crushed.
Yeah.
You need to tweet Bojangles and say, hey, look at this tweet. You got to be part of it. Get the family going.
I just sent them a direct message because they follow me.
Yeah, they follow me too.
And
Chick-fil-A doesn't follow me, by the way.
They don't even have social media.
Chick-fil-A doesn't?
Does not.
No. Neither do a lot of people. Adam Mackey doesn't. He's Twitterless.
Let's talk
He's
about
got Facebook.
Adam, I was listening to him. I finally got the FM so I could hear the broadcast.
Finally got the FM.
Shot. Thanks.
You know, it was good.
I almost stepped on my dog right here.
Dude, he's been in my way
I
the
didn't
whole
think.
time.
Wow.
Dude, he was great. Like, if Adam Mackey told me a story every night before bed, it'd be awesome. His voice is very soothing. He does a very great job. Beaver, you did a great job too.
Casey looks so happy.
Yes, he looks so happy that
There
I'm
you
picking
go.
him up. Here's our shop dog.
He looks scared. Look at him.
He's got his own Twitter account.
He's got it. Yes, he does. Casey Shop Dog 51, right? Yep. Tom Ryan controls that account. We let the cat out of the bag. Look at that. But Casey wants to go to bed.
You mean the dog doesn't send his own tweets?
He's in the tweets a lot.
Yes, he is.
He's tired.
He sent some good tweets.
We're
too.
tired too.
He needs a tweet right now, like, why am I on your lap?
Yeah, I think we're done. We're done. We're going to say adios. Here's Casey the Shop Dog. Remember, check out the Speed 51 Video Network. Just $9.99 a month, $79.99 a year.
He looks
That's
terrified.
right.
Yeah.
Come check it out. Come hang with us.
Mama, thank you very much for coming on the show in place of Casey LaJoy.
Any morning.
Look out. Look out, Casey. Look out. Mama's coming, baby.
Mamba Nation. Love you.